signs say, "Thank you, aliens." I want to be one of them.
Yes.
Not because I think they're friendly, because I want to go first.
Exactly.
Those people were idiots, man. As the thing opened up, like, y'all know what's coming. And they're like cheering, yeah!
Like, we're going to Mars.
Well, I mean, at that point, they were already committed, so.
But you can still make a frowny face or something.
But, like, why at that point?
Yeah.
Like,
Look, if I thought my savior was coming and it turned out to be my killer, my smile would disappear real fast.
Yeah,
but they didn't know because like they just all they saw was a bright light, They're
like, take me up, probe me.
Maybe it'd be like one of those Halo grav lifts.
Yeah, they didn't know if it was a grav lift or
a grav lift. Okay, good point.
So all they knew was a bright light, and then it was like, and then the last minute they probably were like, oh,
we are live.
I'm scared.
All right, well, don't be. You've done this before.
That's right.
All right, it is February the 3rd, right? February 3rd?
It is.
We are 3 days in Black History Month. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 445. I'm one of your hosts here, Aaron. Tiny is here.
Hey, I am here. What's going on?
Not much. Mike, you're here?
Yes, indeed. I am also here.
All right, good. We have a guest with us who has not been on the show for quite some time. We've missed his presence. We have Scarfinger back on the show. You are muted. Welcome, sir.
I unmute when it's time. Like I got this.
I'm sorry.
I got this.
You are an experienced podcaster. Forgive me.
I am an experienced podcaster. I have been podcasting since 2009. I think I got this.
Yeah.
And I do most of my stuff with no notes. So this is great. What's up, everybody? Man, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and y'all the homies, and like. We check in every now and then and see how everybody's doing, but I always hear a lot about Mike. I hear a lot about.
I wonder why that might be.
I can't imagine why.
I hear a lot about Mike all the time. So it's always a thing. Y'all forever the homies. Like I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I'm happy to be back.
It's good to have you. It has been.
Good to have you.
I was gonna look up when the last time was, and I thought, you know what, Aaron, let's just focus on where we are.
Yeah, it's probably been years. Like
it's been too long.
we talking about years, dog. Like
focus on the present. We don't need to talk.
I didn't have hair, but it's been a while. So yeah, it's been a while. So what have you been up to as of late?
Man, life is different for me now. I live on my own now, which is very, very weird. Mm-hmm. I try to keep it a little bit, I'm one of those people that I'm like strictly Game Pass. If it ain't on Game Pass, then I can't really afford it. So I'm not really gonna go down that route. That's kind of me for like the past year. But yeah, man, I don't know whether I was last time we talked, but I live in Richmond, Virginia now.
Okay.
Which is different. It's very, very different here. Richmond people are very weird compared to home, which is about an hour away from Newport News. So I live in Richmond now. I live by myself, which is super, super weird and awkward, and like silence sucks. But man, I'm doing great, man. I got a pretty decent job, and I play games with the homies, and it's like life is what life is. My child seems to be doing well, minus her attitude issues. She's 13 now.
Oh, it gets better.
Getting ready to be 14 in a few weeks. Just focused on being, my work, home, being a dad, that type of thing, being a dad away from my daughter, that type of thing. But man, everything's great. Rashani kind of wrote me into several podcasts. Several.
Like 4.
Several. We were doing 2. Like in addition to me doing Scarcasm, I was doing 2 more shows with him. One of them just kind of fell off a little bit. But I don't know if that's coming back, especially after that one time I got drunk. We did an episode. It was a show. It was a show where we did a podcast, but a different type of podcast every time.
Okay.
So we do a sports show or we do a video game show. And then one idea was Rashani reads a choose your own adventure book, and every time we die, we take a drink.
Oh my God, I used to read those things.
I did too.
And
I know exactly where that went.
And I'm a cheap drunk. Like, I'm a cheap drunk. So, like, after about the first maybe about half an hour, I was like, is anybody else hot? Like, I was sitting here, I took my shirt off. I had my
30 minutes.
I had my beater on underneath, but I'm like, is anybody else hot? I'm like fanning myself. Like, I'm a cheap drunk. You give me one wine cooler, and I'm like, woo! After the fact. So
still make wine coolers? Is that a thing?
It definitely is a thing, because I totally had 1.5 on my birthday, and I was messed up. I couldn't finish this. I told you, I'm a cheap drunk. Like,
Man, I wish I was a cheap date. Like,
I'm a cheap drunk, and like, for real, like the podcasting world knows the first time I got drunk, because I got drunk for the first time on a podcast.
I wouldn't recommend that as a general idea.
No, what had happened was, this is back, when I first found out that I was getting ready to have a pending separation. So I was not in my right mind. But I had already committed to doing the Angry Mailman podcast for a couple of days prior.
Okay.
So, and then like Bubba didn't show up. So like we scheduled it for another day, and that just happened to be the same day I found out that I was probably going to be separated sometime soon. So I left and I came back, and like a novice drinker I was mixing vodka and soda half and half.
Oh no. But I would imagine that just tastes horrible, and it's difficult to drink.
I like I said, I was a novice. I didn't know what I was doing, and I can honestly say to you, like, after like we talked a little bit pre-show, but after the show started, after about 20 minutes or so, I had no recollection of what happened the rest of that until I heard my recording the next day. That was fun. And then apparently that day, I stumbled to the bed, fell on the bed, and I sang my feelings for 2.5 hours.
But you got them out. That's the important part. You got them out.
Yeah, I sang my feelings for 2.5 hours. That was, and part of it, only like a short part of it was recorded for me, so I know that it actually happened. So, but like, there is an episode of The Angry Mailman where I get plastered. I mean, one part I fall out of my chair and I'm like yelling up at the microphone. They're from Alabama, so I'm like, roll tide, like yelling from the floor because I fell out of my chair and I didn't feel like getting back up. The room starts moving without me moving. Like all of this is happening while I'm on the podcast. So I am drunkety drunk for the very first time, and it all happened on a podcast.
Well, given the circumstances, you know.
I think we're I mean, I could talk about it because like all of us that were involved are completely past it. In fact, like one of my shout outs today is Rob.
Wow. Time does heal all wounds.
Yeah, man. And it took time. And you know, it was one of those things to where it's like when it's all happening, you feel like you're never going to be okay. But then like life turns out and everybody is where they need to be, and you go, well, I don't really hate you. Like, you know what I mean? I don't hate you. I don't hate anybody in this situation. Like, I'm okay, you're okay. Like, what's up, dude? And like, you know, just started having conversations. I've had Rob on the podcast a few times, and like, you know, life is grand right now. When I see him, is what's up, my dude? Like, it's really like that.
Wow.
That's admirable.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it was, but at some point, like you got to be adults because there's a child involved, and like,
True.
and as much as
Right,
someone said hate takes so much energy, it's not worth it. You're right, it's not, because like in my case, there's a child involved, and I'm, you know, he is a father to my child most of the time. You know me, I'm part-time, and you know, like, you know, I can still be my child's father, but like that's her dad too. And like when it all comes down and it's time for stuff to start happening, like weddings and stuff like that, we both walking down that aisle.
Wow.
We both walking down, both of us. I'm gonna make it so. We both about that life. So it's, you know what I mean, it's a you know, it's been a process, but like it's been almost 8 years, bro. Like you can't hold on to any of this for that long.
Yeah, it'll eat you up if you did. Yeah.
It takes so much out of you. So like, nah, man. I love everybody involved. That man is the head of his family, which happens to be my family too. So we family.
All right.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, that's. I want to be that mature one day.
I never thought that I would be here, but there's been a lot of therapy, like a lot of
therapy works.
A lot of therapy. I still talk to my therapist every Thursday. I talked to her this morning.
Yeah, therapy works. It's real. It is real. It almost seems kind of trite to go from that to ask you like about this other stuff on the outline, because it's not really as important. No, I could do. No,
it's all important. Like it's about the experience of everything. Right. Like life experience, entertainment experience, like, you know, it's all a part of it, you know, it's a part of what makes me me.
True indeed.
Yeah.
That having
let's hear about you. Yeah,
let's hear more.
I was gonna say it's what makes you. Let's hear about you.
Okay, so I just put some TV shows and stuff on the list, but I'm not going to talk about Boba Fett and Peacemaker. I'm just going to chime in on those conversations.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Because I mean, three of us have Boba Fett on the list. Not
and I didn't write anything.
Yeah, like not that he did.
I just wanted to fit in. I don't even know what it is. Yeah. I just wanted to fit in.
So I try to watch stuff. And I'm really bad about watching things because I'm getting older and I fall asleep a lot. But I really, really love Cobra Kai. Like I really, really love that show. And if you've not watched Cobra Kai, even if you only like casually have seen the movies, Cobra Kai is fantastic. Like it is fantastic.
Are you current season? I'm sorry, it sounded like you're about to say.
I have watched every season the moment it came out, and I watched the whole season in one day.
Okay. Ooh, you are a fan. Okay.
Yeah. I watched the first two seasons when it was still a YouTube Red show.
Yeah.
So it was on YouTube for 2 years, then it went over to Netflix.
It went to Netflix, yes.
Wow.
So I watched it when it was a YouTube only show. And like I just decided to try it one day. I was at work. It wasn't a whole lot going on. I work for a moving company, but I work in the office and I answer the phones. So the phones weren't really ringing. So I was just like, what am I going to do? I started watching Cobra Kai and I couldn't stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like I stopped, you know, for breaks and getting up, when I got up from my desk or whatever like that. But I watched a big chunk of it and then I went home and I finished it. Like that, and like every season that has came out, I have watched that season that first day. It's 10 episodes. They're all about a half an hour. It's about 5 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, you know, like and when the last season came out, I watched that day. So every single season that's come out, it is brilliant. Like, even like I said, even if you are a casual Karate Kid fan, it hits so many notes, and like the way that it starts, because it starts off with Johnny and where Johnny is in his life, and it also really starts off with that kick, with the crane kick.
That he's still living.
Yes, that
every day.
every
or
day.
at least at that point in his life.
And those dudes, the dudes behind the show, I don't remember their names. I know that Will Smith owns the rights, so they had to go to Will Smith in order to get approval to do this.
He bought it when his son
bought
did
it. He bought it when Jaden did the Kung Fu Kid that they call the Karate Kid,
which didn't make any sense to me. But yeah.
But they went in the archives and found alternate takes to that last scene. And one of the alternate takes is like showing the kick from a close-up perspective, and you saw like what that actually did to him. And then it goes into like what his life is now, and this dude is totally stuck in that moment. He can't get past it. And like, and then you realize once you see Daniel, he's still stuck in it too, even though he's very successful. He owns car lots, luxury car lots, and all of this kind of stuff. But the moment he sees anything that reminds him of that time, he goes completely back there. And for the first maybe about season and a half, you don't like Daniel that much. You don't like him very much at all. And like that scene, the YouTube video of Daniel's the bully, that where they cut it to where in the as if Daniel was the bully. That's exactly how Johnny sees this. And when he's explaining this to someone, explaining what happened between them to someone, he is basically narrating that YouTube video. You know what I mean? Like it's fantastic in like the adults versus the kids, because there's a lot of is about basically the next generation of these students, and like they're all in high school and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. And the ending of season 2 will make you go, wow, I really have to keep watching this right now. Like I can't stop this right now. Like you get to the end of a season, and like even if you have multiple seasons to watch, you're like, okay, cool, I'm good until I get around to the next season. You're like, no, I have to watch this now. Like
film it,
right
finish.
Now. Yeah, and it is fantastic. So yeah, Cobra Kai, you have to watch.
I started it when it first came out, when it was on YouTube Red, and I was into it, and then I just kind of got distracted and never got back.
Wow. Okay.
So, but what I saw was good, but I know it's taken on just the poster shots or whatever, the promotional stuff. I don't know the specifics, but I can tell that their adversarial relationship sort of they find something in each other to help each other out. Ultimately, that's my assumption.
You think so? You think so?
Never mind. I guess I don't know.
It doesn't quite go as well as the posters would lead you to believe, because you have posters these two dudes. You have these two dudes, in like their karate philosophies couldn't be more opposite from each other. And they do have a lot to learn from each other, but they don't really get to that until season 4, the one that just came out. They don't really get to that until then. But like up until then, it's just a lot. And there's other times where they kind of have, in the first season, they end up going to a bar. Mm-hmm. And there's just sitting down at the bar. And the weirdest thing is like Johnny is completely stuck in the 80s. So like they're talking about Allie, and you like, Daniel tells him about her. He's like, how do you know all of this? He's like, I saw it on Facebook. Like, what's a Facebook? You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like all he does is he drinks, he watches Iron Eagle, and like, he's like, you know what I mean? Like he is completely stuck. He's completely stuck in that
big
mode.
Louis Gossett Jr. fan.
Exactly. He's gonna watch Enemy Mine next. You know what I mean? But like he's completely stuck in that, and like watching his growth as a person, and then like other people start coming back. So like for the first season, you really only need to know the first movie. Mm-hmm. But for the other seasons, you need to know the other movies, because some of those people show back up.
Okay. Does anybody from people from the second movie show back up? Like the nephews?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What? I have to watch this show. Like I know from
yeah.
the poster of the 3rd or 4th season that the antagonists from the 3rd movie come back.
Yes, he came back.
I
In the
really
last
dislike them. Well, I mean the coach, the teacher, Johnny's
Right.
teacher from the 1st movie, and then the antagonists from the 3rd movie. I know they come back, but wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When that last season, bruh, Terry Silver is a G among G's.
Just saying, like, these are
I'm
high
just-
school kids. What are they throwing these kids off cliffs? What's going on here? Like, where are the parents?
So the kids got problems on their own, and they take care of their problems on their own sometimes.
With fists and feet
Yes, very much so.
and words.
But like I said, the ending of the 2nd season and the ending of the 3rd season would be like, oh, wow, that really just happened. And like it makes you want to continue. So yes, if you haven't, do that. If you don't remember the movies, watch a recap real quick. You know what I mean? Like,
Is Hillary Swank in any of these?
no, not
Okay.
yet.
Not yet, but
Not
I wouldn't put it past them to eventually get there.
yes, I wouldn't put
To
it
be
past them.
completionist about it, they probably should.
And I listened. Will Smith was on Questlove Supreme recently, and they gave him the idea of Jaden being in the show. He was
Also
like,
have
"Oh yeah, I
all
should
of this
probably
stuff
do that."
combining. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so it's probably he was like, "We should probably do that." So
Which also
basically,
means Taraji P. Henson needs to be on there as well.
know what I mean?
And Jackie Chan as Mr. I forgot the character's name.
But do we really want Jackie Chan in this? Because that kind of destroys the whole karate thing.
Well, I mean, we should have been called the Kung Fu Kid. I mean, it should have been called that. But
It should have been. Like, yeah, I mean, he even says in the movie, like, when he's forcing them to do all of this stuff and he doesn't want to do it.
The
he's
best
like,
part of that
right
movie,
here, that's Kung Fu. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wait, I thought this was the Karate Kid.
the best part of that movie is the whole story about him fixing the car up every year and then smashing it, or ever so often. That whole movie. That was the best scene of that whole movie. Like, wow,
Yeah.
that hit me.
Oh, someone mentioned The Expanse. The Expanse is fantastic. I really, really like The Expanse. I started watching The Expanse late, like when they made it to Amazon, and like there's a lot of episodes, and I watched like the first 3 seasons in a week. It was that good, and it kept me like really interested in what's going to happen next. And for my Mass Effect fans, yo, the chick who does the voice of Auntie Ron is the realest G among G's in The Expanse.
I've never seen The Expanse. What is The Expanse about? I'm sorry.
It's space stuff.
Okay.
It's crunchy sci-fi. It's like Earth, Mars, and then people that mine the asteroid belt.
I've heard of those
And
places.
the conflicts between them, and then there's some like
it's
real sci-fi, like the proto molecule.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it, and the show just ended.
Sorry, James.
So you have all of that. You know, there's been
watch it all.
There's been word that they're going to do some movies, maybe some like straight to Amazon movies,
Okay.
like coming to America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's stuff that needs to be made.
You know, maybe. So that's good. And then I started watching this show, and I find this to be weird that I'm like the only person that ever talks about this. There's a show called Queens, and Queens is about
Queen Sugar or just Queen?
No, just Queens.
This is the one that just started this season, right? The one with Brandy and
Yes.
Okay, I have heard of this. Yes.
But no one ever talks about this show.
No.
But yeah, they were the Queens were a popular rap group in the late 90s, and they were a big deal. Something happened to them and they kind of went their separate ways. Then some young, like kind of Nicki Minaj-ish type of chick sampled them, and then people wanted to hear of where they were, so she got a thing where they were going to perform at the BET Awards, and so they decided to get back together to do this, but their lives are so different now. And you know, like they're, you know, the one that was the notorious hoe is now like a family lady, and she has 5 kids and all this kind of stuff. Brandy is she used to be like a really dope rapper, but now she sings with an acoustic guitar in bars where no one's paying her attention. you know what I mean, one of the ladies went like super deep into the church, and like the other lady was like she blew up, and she's like one of the like anchors on like an Entertainment Tonight type show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but they're all living so different lives, and they come back together, and you know, they try to make this thing work. And I find it I find it to be very interesting. And I will say, I don't know who's writing the raps for them, especially for Brandy. Brandy's rap voice is fantastic.
Really?
Like, and her bars, got bars, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not Brandy. And she does sing a couple of times in, you know, so far in the season. She sang a couple of times, but like but like when she raps, whoever's writing those is
what channel
really
is it on,
good.
or what streaming service?
I watch it on Hulu. I don't know. I don't know what channel.
It's an ABC show.
Okay. It's funny. It's funny. I think my oldest was talking about it one day. We were like, okay, yeah, and then we. Yeah.
And then like Eve is one of the chicks, so we already know Eve can spit. But
wifey's a big Eve fan, so that'll sell it right there.
There's a like one. The first thing that I saw a YouTube video of a scene where they are battle rapping against each other, Brandy and Eve. And I was like, okay, Brandy is really holding her own against an actual professional rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And I mean, I'm not going to spoil why she's there, but in the later episodes, they brought in Remy Ma.
Really?
Really.
Any JJ Fad cameos or anything?
Not so far.
Roxanne,
Not so
Shantae.
But we definitely need a Queen Latifah.
Yes.
Like we need a Queen Latifah, but we need spitting Queen Latifah. We don't need singing Queen Latifah. We don't need no Chicago stuff off up in here. Like we need her. We need UNITY up in this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, and so like I've been watching those, and then of course like I watch a crap ton of YouTube videos.
That's
so
99% of what I watch.
Yeah, I live on YouTube. I a lot of times I watch people play games more than I actually play games.
Yeah.
Because I watch people play games that sometimes I'm like, I really want to play that game, but I don't really want to sit down here in my computer for that long and play. Like, because I like tycoon games and some strategy games and things of that nature. And some of them I'm really into, like Prison Architect, RimWorld.
You always like that stuff, that architect stuff.
Yeah. So like I'm really into those, but like I really don't want to sit here in my PC. And my PC is struggle-tastic these days, and trying to get a new video card is the absolute worst. So like, you know, because I bought like the Division 2 for PC, and it's a flip book for me. Like my video card is like, no sir. I was like, while I'm standing still, I can get 30. The moment I start moving,
did someone throw a grenade? Oh god.
Yeah, but the moment I start moving, it drops to the teens. My frame rate drops to the teens. So like my computer cannot handle this. So like I typically just watch people play stuff now. I watch people play Project Hospital and RimWorld and all of this other stuff that I would like to play, but
you think maybe some of the cloud stuff could help out with that? Stuff you could stream in might.
No, there's no point, because I went in, instead of worrying about a new video card, I just went and bought a Series S.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I got to talk about right now. You know, I'll talk about my shows and stuff like that later when I do shout outs.
Cool.
What y'all got?
Mike, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry,
no worries.
My cat is interested in attention, so hopefully he won't.
That doesn't seem like a cat, but that, you know.
Hopefully he won't like knock the micro. Anyway, yeah, I mean, like I guess the big thing for me this week was the sixth. I've lost track. The most recent episode of Boba Fett, which is truthfully the second episode of Mandalorian season 3.
Exactly. They're previous to now, the show has been kind of okay, but they made the show a lot better by just having Mandalorian episodes
and putting the side characters that weren't all that appealing from Boba Fett's entourage nowhere on screen, at least except for one brief cameo. Specifically, I'm talking about the gang of strange. What would you call the group of coloring that they use for the bikes? Like what is this? This is like 1950s.
They were the worst swoop bike gang I've ever seen.
We're just expecting them to combine, and their swoop bikes will become Voltron.
They were like, but they weren't even like swoop bikes. They were like Star Wars version of Vespas. Like, what are we talking about?
But there were colors that I've never seen in Star Wars. I was like, there's yellow in Star Wars. There's that shade of red. That's just like, you could do that.
They seemed like, okay, this is the muscle that Boba Fett is trying to hire, and they seem as threatening as folks on Sesame Street.
Yeah,
but and then like what's that dude Thundercat? Wasn't he in like an episode?
Thundercat?
Which guy?
The Thundercat dude. His the bassist dude. He makes the song called Dragon Ball Durag. I guess y'all don't know Thundercat, but Thundercat was the doctor in that in one of the previous episodes that.
He looked familiar.
Yeah, that's Thundercat.
What's that song he has out? That
the one people he references.
The one I get drunk. Let's get drunk at that one. Let's drink together. That one.
I don't know his music that much. I know
that one song. I like it.
Yeah,
he looked familiar. It seemed like the way they set it up. I should have known who he was. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, the guy where he
put all the animatronics
the one that
on
saves Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fennec
the doctor who had the thing, and he kept putting the thing on his hands.
Yeah.
That
That's
guy.
a nice cameo right there.
Yep.
It felt like a cameo, but I don't know. I'm old.
He didn't have to do much. Like Sticky Fingers in the Blade TV series, he had to do much. He had to say much.
Cool though.
I watched one episode.
Okay. Wait, flag on the field here, because there's a rumor he will be making an appearance in Doctor Strange.
I think someone is just making
madness.
I think someone was just making
that
a
to
joke.
happen.
I think someone was just making a joke. But you know what? I'll allow it. I liked the show at the time, because the best part about that show is he didn't have to say much. Because Blade is not a guy that's just going to bust out in song or soliloquy. Like, he's not that kind of guy.
This is how I feel.
He doesn't quit.
Yeah.
Could be like that Simpsons episode where they have the guys and dolls with Mark Hamill on stage. Just start singing, just a bunch of crazy guys and dolls. All right, get down. Now I lost track of where I was.
We're talking about Boba Fett.
Yeah, so the previous episode, lots of actually no Boba Fett at all, other than in a
that's true.
It's the last two
recap.
episodes,
right? Yeah, he makes a brief cameo in this one.
It almost makes you feel like, whose show is this?
Well, that's why I almost feel like they didn't need to separate. They literally could have just called this Mandalorian season 3, and it's like that. I mean, he qualifies as much as the other guy is Mandalorian, as far as I can tell.
I know we can't spoil stuff, but I wish I knew who more of the people on screen were. Are there people who are on screen I'm like, I should be hyped, but I don't know who that is?
Well, like,
I can tell it's significant. I just don't know enough.
I don't want to spoil it, but like, there's the one character that there's two characters that I really didn't know prior to like these series, and like, if I didn't watch, the Bad Batch, I wouldn't know who one of them really was, because I went back and tried to figure out who he was after the fact. So like I found out who he was after the fact. So because I saw he was in an episode of the Bad Batch, and I was like, oh, okay, he that dude. Okay, cool. So like I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I really like these shows. Like, really.
No, I'm in. I look forward to them every time they're on. Sometimes I wish there's so much I have to go back to what Quaid Rain was saying. I have to go back and watch so many shows to know who they are. I'd rather just ask you all.
Do what I do. Watch a YouTube video. Like, who is this dude?
I mean, that's the same thing for Marvel stuff. Like, you watch anything, and like I have to like. You know how many Moon Knight videos I watched last week?
So like, okay, so he's Batman with multiple personalities.
Yes,
got it.
Exactly. That is exactly who Moon Knight is.
Yeah.
So,
but he wears.
I feel fortunate that I had the opportunity about a year ago to do like a super marathon of the Star Wars TV shows. So I really got to know some of the stuff that people always, oh, it's so good, this is so good, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I watched the beginning of Clone Wars, and I'm like, this is straight trash. And it does get so much better.
So much better.
And Rebels is, to me, much better than any. I mean, Clone Wars got really good, but I feel like Rebels just put it to bed, man. It was great.
According to my YouTube video watching, the most important scene to what we're watching and what we've watched today or yesterday or whenever you watched it, the most important scene to Boba Fett got cut.
Really?
From the episode?
From the cartoons. It was supposed to be in the cartoons and it got cut.
Because he is when Luke drinks that from that alien nipple. I thought that's what
they should have cut that, man.
Yeah, they really should have cut that. That
was weird.
But yeah, like Boba,
eye contact and everything.
A kind of like teenager, I think, aged Boba Fett does appear in. It had to have been Rebels, right? I kind of lose track on the.
I didn't watch it. I just watched the YouTube videos, but I think you're right. But yeah, and so basically, like something happens between these two characters, a character Boba Fett and this other character, and it was cut out. But obviously, it's canon because you see the remnants of what happened in that cut scene on each of them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy watching the like somebody break down. Here's all the things. Here's all the quote unquote Easter eggs or cameos or like wow moments or whatever, and kind of help you get a better. But it's kind of, I don't know. I watched one of those episodes earlier tonight on somebody did on YouTube. It's like not hard to find. There's probably thousands of them.
Episode 3 is the best episode of all of the Star Wars movies. Don't at me, bro.
I mean,
wait, Revenge of the Sith
is the best of
all
of them. Period. All
Yep.
9 of the
100%.
main.
100%.
It's better.
First of all, Rogue One is the best thing they've ever done.
I stand on that.
Oh man.
Okay, I'll say of the numbered Star Wars movies.
Empire Strikes Back is the best of the numbered Star Wars.
Until the twist is boring. That is a boring movie.
Oh god, it starts with a Hoth. It's great. Like that's awesome.
That is a boring
movie. I disagree. But also The Last Jedi, like Star Wars would have been brave to follow what happened in The Last Jedi, and that's not what happened. So they did the garbage last movies.
I'm trying to think Revenge of the Sith. Anakin has that weird, like, just all of a sudden turn, he's killing kids, like out of nowhere.
I'm about that life, dog.
Really?
I want to see him. I want to see how
say
he
that
turns.
out loud.
I want to see how he turns. Oh no! I hate kids. Am I supposed to be clean?
If at all possible, but don't worry about
it. Okay. No. I absolutely hate kids. Like, let's be honest. I hate kids. The only kid that I actually like is my own because I have to. I have to. Like, as you know me, I hate kids. I don't like kids at all. Like, don't let me babysit. Like, that kid.
I won't.
There's a difference
after all this.
Not liking,
that kid is going to be able to do whatever they want to.
There's a difference between not liking children and
me and your toddler,
a light sword to them.
Me and your toddler going to be vaping. Like, it's going to be a problem, dog. Like, no, I don't. I don't like kids. I don't. So, like, whatever happened to the kids, F them kids. Real life. Real life.
We see the results of that trauma.
Actually, the best result of that is something that's not canon anymore, because I listened to the audiobooks of the Legacy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Before the merger and
one of the kids, he has the ability to kind of jump back in time and kind of like be a part of a moment. And like one of the moments that he went back to before Jason Solo, I mean, he's not canon anymore, so it doesn't matter. Jason Solo jumps back into his grandfather's brain and is watching that scene happen and can feel what he felt while that is happening. And that was like that scene of him describing like that the feeling of desperation and like anxiety and like all of that, like how he's explaining seeing and feeling this through his grandfather's eyes is crazy. And it's not a part of this anymore. It's not a part of this anymore.
Gotcha.
Jason Solo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who's his mom?
Leia.
This is instead of Kylo.
Yeah.
Right. This is the one that Chewie sacrifices himself for in that book series, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they were twins. It's Jason and Jaina, I believe.
Okay.
They were twins. The Solos were twins, and then
did they kind of do that with the Kylo stuff? Sort of.
The Skywalkers have been in those stories. The Skywalkers have been.
So they kind of did that because they never explained it all, but the whole, I don't know, all the stuff that Kylo and Rey were able to do and passing lightsabers through, convenient portals and all that kind of stuff.
But that's just because they're a dyad in the Force.
Right.
Like, it's not that they're genetically related, it's that they share such a strong Force connection.
But like if you played the Knights of the Old Republic games, like some of that is explained in Knights of the Old Republic too. Mm. Some of that is explained there about being like tied to someone through the Force, that type of thing.
I don't think this is from episode 5, so people have had at least a week to watch it. And I don't think this is a big spoiler. But like BD shows up in episode 5, and that's the same droid from
the same model.
Order. Is it?
It's the same model, but it's not
I looked at
the same droid
because I was like, I gotta know, and the consensus seems to be it's just another of the same model.
BD model
because they also, and I haven't played the game that you're referencing, but my YouTube video watching in the Bad Batch, they actually go to that ship graveyard that Cal Kestis works at.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They actually go there.
The Bad Batch.
Yeah, they actually go there, and they were like, "Oh, does this mean we're getting Cal Kestis?" No, he doesn't show up. But like, they actually there's been references to that in the other shows too.
Okay, I will say one more thing because I won't spoil anything. But they brought back one of my favorite types of ships.
The Naboo Starfighter.
Oh, I love the Starfighter. Like it is. That it was also a secret in Rogue Squadron.
Oh, it was in the game. That is right.
They only unlocked it after they only released the code after the movie came out. Oh, that's such a. It's not as cool as the Razor Crest because like you can't I don't know, go to the bathroom and whatnot.
Right. But, that's what I was wondering when they're like, hey, you used to have this thing that was basically your mobile home.
Right. It was an
now
RV.
You're gonna just sit in a cockpit and have like.
Oh, and I got
all of your travels are like a road trip from hell now.
I got a slight spoiler. Slight. It's very, very slight. So like, stop listening for like 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this spoiler. But did anybody else notice that when he landed that ship, R2-D2 lined up with the place that he would have been if he
where the astromech droid should have been?
Yes, I was like,
I did not notice that at all.
Yes,
but like
I'm not that observant.
It also means he can't go to faster than light travel because there's no astromech to plot the course. Or I was like, I don't understand what he's going to do with this ship unless he gets a bigger ship for it to like live in.
I want to know about the mechanics' dating habits. That's what I want to. What is the deal with that?
Amy, that's Amy Sedaris, right?
Yeah.
She's
so many memes from last week's episode. I can't wait to see the memes from this week's episode.
There are a lot. I was still kind of confused.
The dating game with a picture of her in the dating game, and there's 3 Jawas on.
Honestly, I didn't understand.
That was great.
Episode 5 of how like things just took a turn. It was like one thing was happening. Then there was a question, and it was like, yeah, I'm out. Like
I feel like that's just
what happened here.
I feel like that's just to justify the actors' problems with always having to wear a helmet.
But narratively, it just didn't. It came out of nowhere.
Like it comes out. I mean, I feel like that whole first part of that episode comes out of nowhere.
That's true.
It's like cool.
Okay.
This guy that did a lot of stuff, and now he's like, "Yo, give me that thing back." That we're not talking about specifically.
There's another thing that is not a spoiler, but like I don't really watch a whole bunch of like samurai movies, but I am a Wu-Tang fan, and so like the end of the episode, I'm like, "Yo, that's from the Fourth Chamber from the Jesus album, dog. Like you just did that. You just did that."
Yes.
He totally did that.
He did.
That was the night everything changed.
Everything. Yes.
He did that at the end of the episode, and I'm like, "Yo, dog, that was from the Fourth Chamber." I don't know which movie it actually came from.
I don't know either. I just know it from The Genius.
I know it from the Fourth Chamber.
One more thing. I was watching this with my girlfriend, and she got so mad about how like gaslighty the Jedi are, and like
it seemed very
like,
manipulative. Man.
Like it's like, hey, this child should commit to being a priest. And
you're
like,
3 years old. Figure out what you want to do with your entire life now.
Right.
But but you also have to think about the fact that the last time that they did this, right? They accepted a child that was too old and had an attachment, turned into Darth Vader. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
You're not wrong, but the other part you have to consider is there's this backwoods kid that, as far as we know, has minimal education, that spent a long weekend with his odd uncle and then like a summer at Boy Scout camp in the swamp, and now he's being asked to reestablish the whole Jedi Order. Like,
that's a lot
of
pressure.
Apparently he supposedly read the books or meant to,
but all he did was read the like.
But like you don't have the same kind of uncles I have. You know how corrupted you could be while hanging out a weekend with my uncle?
Change your life.
I'm just saying, like, Ahsoka's around,
and also, you know, that's never been stated how many spiritual visits he had to learn more as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But like Rey steals the books, and then because fans got upset, we're never gonna nothing actually happens with that. From The Last Jedi again.
Well, it's how she continued to, train without having the specific teacher other than Leia, who was also kind of lightly trained, I think.
But didn't it get insinuated that Yoda Force Ghost be like, "Yo, take the reins." You know what I mean?
Yoda 100% influenced her, and then so Luke didn't know, burned down the magic tree or whatnot. And you're like, and that's Mike's big problem. How come Force Ghost can fucking do stuff now?
Yeah, we could have used a lot of that lightning earlier.
It is a bit of an issue. I feel like it opens up too many plot hole potential things.
So
it's crazy enough that they exist in the first place, but at least if they keep it consistent.
But so yeah, I mean, hey, I think Boba Fett has. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes, but this is a strong turn.
Well, they got to a point. They got to a point where they're just like, okay, they caught up. Now we don't care about Boba Fett anymore.
Right.
Clearly, we just move on.
Yeah. Although
we'll come back. He's dealing with stuff. He's got his weird biker gang, and his
he's got that Wookiee that needs to get his own Disney Plus series. Just ripping people's arms off and whatnot.
He
can give a mean side eye, and he can totally rip people's arms off. I don't know if he's going to be saying a whole lot though.
And also, I need to say this, and I don't know if I've ever said this, but I'm going to say this now. I am the Force Ghost thing really kind of weirds me out because of the way they changed everything in the sequel movies. Because last time I checked, Force Ghosts just kind of talk to you or just kind of show up as a ghastly picture over your shoulder, like an Olin Mills picture. We don't when did this change to whereas Yoda could just sit down beside you and be like, "Yo, dog, what up, B?" And then make some things happen. Why are we doing this? I thought it was supposed to be Olin Mills. Why is this not Olin Mills?
Why is this not Olin Mills? Our Atriax in the chat says Grogu has been traumatized and needs some love. He's a kid. Let him heal a bit before making a big decision. Men and Grogu need each other. Yeah, I agreed.
I mean, he's a kid, but like he's like a 50-year-old kid.
Yeah,
like,
he's at this point, he's like 50. He's like
Relative.
52-ish or something. But did you notice how I don't know, around 30 something years ago,
He got
didn't
frozen.
really look much different?
Well, but that's because he's been in like carbon, like whatever. It was in the freezing chamber thing that Mando finds him in.
But
So like
since that,
it seems
time?
to indicate a while because that's
Okay.
why like he can't talk and he doesn't remember. Like
okay,
Luke's
so
trying to, like-
even see, this is the thing I never really did any research into, but I just sort of assumed because Yoda's declared himself to be 900 years old or whatever number of hundreds of years it was, that
And-
that
Yaddle,
species.
Yaddle just completely disappeared. Like, one day Yaddle was there, and the next day, no.
I mean,
there's going to be an Order 66 Yaddle episode.
We need.
I mean, there might
We
be,
need-
but she is referenced by the pilot in Fallen Order. He says something about being really attracted to Yaddle.
I need to play that. I need to
that
finish.
that dude
Fallen
has
Order.
issues.
Oh, he does, but he's cool. I like that guy.
So.
I don't remember his name or what his species is. He's
But-
into
oh,
gambling. I remember
You
that.
know what? Actually, I do have one more thing. When did we start using the Mandalorian's name? Like, I feel like
when she
this-
introduced him, she did say his full name.
You have to.
Yeah.
It was not the first time it's been used.
No, it's not. It's not.
But is it the first? Is this season the first time it's been used?
no,
No,
I don't
no.
remember it in the
No, it's-
previous.
it was
It's
used
not-
like one other time.
Not common because it's
Yeah.
not like an easy to remember or pronounce.
Dad.
Din
Din
Djarin.
Din
Djarin, yeah.
Din
Yeah,
Djarin.
Din
But only
Djarin.
because I've heard enough times now. Finally,
Right, like I was like, wait, where did that come? Like, no,
because you have to, because you can't just call him the Mandalorian when he's not the only one.
Right.
So,
And to
Especially
be honest,
when
the Mandalorian is a reference to Grogu, not him. Bam! I said it.
I would just like to go on record that I agree with what Ed Triox is saying, mostly because I'm pretty sure that's Kina. Just let the record show that.
Let the
That's
record
all.
show. It's showing.
Well,
Mike,
Yeah, I mean that's about it. There isn't really much else to
Okay.
mention as far as things.
all right, I'm gonna take a slight detour from the wars and the stars and the people we love that are involved in them. My oldest child purchased a car yesterday. I'm old.
oh,
She saved
Nice.
up. She's been working since last June. Saved up all her money. Bought a car, a nice car. It's all right.
Okay.
That's good.
That's dope.
Do you want to say what kind of car it is?
She got a Nissan Rogue.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got to drive one of those for a couple of weeks when a person with no license smashed into the back of my car.
Hey, look at you.
My ex bought a 2000 Rogue. I think it's a 2000 Rogue. She loves that car.
No, it's a nice car. It is. It's one of the same person who sold us our Honda Pilot. Also, we went to CarMax. We went same salesperson.
So
And-
so you bought a box.
A box.
Yeah, ain't the Honda Pilot like it just looks like a box?
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, it's not.
it's not
no
like the
Scion,
Cube, but
it's like
It's no Scion XB.
it's
oh
a,
yeah, no, that's a box.
that's a box.
My mom still has hers.
nice.
I
Yeah, she
think,
wanted something like that.
I think
but
Marcus
that
got rid of his, right?
think so.
I think Marcus got rid of his.
Yeah, he did.
But some of the features you would get on the higher end ones, the Nissan comes with kind of by default or whatever. So it's nice. It's a nice vehicle. No.
Is that the one that basically drives itself? It's got the
No.
what do they call it? Something adaptive cruise control with
I don't
lane
thi-
assist.
I don't think it has all. I mean, it has like the
Oh,
lane
okay.
changing thing and the blind. All
Yeah.
that stuff. It doesn't do all that stuff. I don't think.
The rental one it had all that, and I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna find out how good this thing can take me around a corner, and it did 80% of a turn by
Wow.
itself, and it flipped out.
Yeah, but the other 20.
No, it wouldn't have worked out, but it was a slow speed. No one else was on the road.
4 o'clock in the morning.
No, it was broad daylight. I needed to see what was going on around me, and I was like, okay, all right, I see about the limits of this, and I don't need it.
Yeah, all of that stuff is weird. Because up until like last year, I drove a 98 Corolla. So like this is, all of these newfangled stuff with the little lights on the side that tell you when it's okay to move over and all of this kind of weird stuff. I actually hung out with my ex a couple of days ago, and she was driving and her car started beeping. And I'm like, why is your car beeping? Like, it's freaking out. She was like, oh yeah, I just switched lanes without turning my light on. It like got mad at her.
I had a rental car and it did that. I thought something was wrong.
Yeah, her car got mad at her. Be like, yo, I need you to use your light right now. Like, calm down.
Yeah. My car beeps
all that stuff.
If it senses that there's another car, not just next to you, but within what it guesses to be a risky zone, like it sees a car way off in the distance in the lane next to you, but it's accelerating. It'll light up, and if you put your turn signal on, it'll start beeping because it's like, hey, check out this guy. But it doesn't do anything else. It doesn't like try to steer you around or anything.
I can't drive a car to get mad at me, dog. Like that's not how this works.
You probably get used to it, but at first I was like,
you work for me, car. You're not supposed to be mad at me. You work for me.
But see, I see my first car, which was a hand-me-down, had a tape deck. The first new car that I bought had a tape deck, and that's it. I mean, radio, but no CD player. And then the next car that I got had the CD player, and now we're beyond this. There's no CD player. There's nothing.
No, there's no CD.
It's just plug your phone in.
Yeah.
So it's like
Bluetooth it up.
I still have a CD player in my car.
I was gonna say my car still has a CD player.
Yeah. I never use it. I use a little Bluetooth thing, but I still got a CD player for when I want to play a CD. If I want to listen to some smooth jazz.
Well, when I used to have the car with it, I still had the ability to plug the phone in, and that's how I used it most of the time. But like when a new album came out and I bought that physical CD, I'd be like, I'm going to listen to that physical CD the best quality I can get for a couple of weeks, a month, or whatever, and then it's just on the phone. I'll listen to it whenever.
Yeah, you gotta do the whip test, but you gotta do the whip test with the actual disc if you got it. Like because don't nothing bang like it bang in the whip though.
Oh no, that's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother thing. And I'm sorry, the Bluetooth thing don't hit like the disc did. I'm sorry, it don't.
Well, Bluetooth does have some degradation.
Yeah.
Generally, your source isn't at the same quality as.
Like this going aux is probably is superior, but I'm not an audiophile, so
when you get that new Wu-Tang,
I'll tell you, wasn't that good. I'll be honest with you, man.
The last few, like ever since forever, it's been. It's the last few Wu-Tang albums have been declining the same way a Tupac song declines whenever he stops rapping and the Outlaws start.
Agreed. Who's that? Napoleon? Turn it off. It's like, who's the other guy on Lil Wayne? 6 foot, 7 foot. Who's the other guy on that song?
What's his name? The dude who his dad was the dude, the Uptown Baby. What's
Corey Guns?
Corey Guns.
As soon as he comes on, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I like Corey Guns, but he just can't make no music. He can't make no songs.
But like, after Wayne's verses, it's like, why even about this? Stop.
But like Wayne's verse is, I just got out of jail and I got a lot to say. That's his verse.
You can feel the hunger.
Right. I just got out of jail. It's kind of like when you get out of jail and you got to find your woman. Like, I got to get all of this out of me right now. Like, you know what I mean? like that was basically him doing that through rap form. So yes, like, I get it. Like, you don't feel the same about Corey, who's probably never been in trouble before. And, his dad is the dude who did Uptown Baby. And
then paid all that money back to Steely Dan for the sample, yes. Right? Yeah.
Yes. I saw a video. It's like classic albums or ultimate albums or something like that. And the Steely Dan was going over all of the stuff that they did for Asia. And that song came on, and the dude from Steely Dan 100%. I can't make this up. Started going Uptown Baby, Uptown Baby when it came on, because you know how much money he got paid off of that.
Yeah, he did.
That's all was everywhere. They started making it for different areas. Like different
did.
areas had their own version. Like that and Raise Up. Raise Up had like a bunch of different versions for whatever area you in. Shout out to Petey Pablo. Got out of prison recently. So like
I know what happened to him.
Yeah, he went to prison.
Okay, well, yeah. Gotta keep
Last
throwing those
time
t-shirts.
I thought of Petey Pablo was his cameo in Drumline.
Yes,
and that's the last
I know.
time I thought about
I could
Petey
not.
Pablo.
I know what he said in that movie. He just yelled stuff, and I was like,
he
"Yeah."
did the I Told Y'all song, and that's all he really did. Like he didn't do nothing else. All he did was do part of that I Told You song while the band played behind him. Shout out to Morris Brown, who actually got their accreditation back, and they might actually, be able to do some things because they lost accreditation and they lost a lot after that movie came out. Also, Drumline and Thor are the same movie. Discuss.
Make a YouTube video.
I can see parallels.
Couch Tomato probably did it, right?
Drumline and Thor are the same movie. They are the exact same. They are
like somebody who comes in like thinking they're high and mighty, the fall, yeah, and then the redemption, yeah,
Drumline and Thor, same movie.
It's a popular arc.
Yes, the hero's journey, or whatever you want to call it.
I just like how dismissive you are of the hero's journey.
It's done all over the place. All right, I don't want to be forever here, but anybody see the trailer for I'm not gonna say what it is, but a trailer for Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus?
No idea.
Okay, I'm watching the trailer. It has this kind of like Knives Out vibe. I'm thinking it's a movie because it's like everybody like on like these Zoom call kind of things, like being interviewed one-on-one about basically, I guess some guy. I mean, I know you don't know, you don't watch The Office, but Andy Buckley, who plays. I hate The Office. Wow, that's one of my favorite shows ever.
Can't stand it.
I love that show.
I know I'm alone out here, but I can't stand it.
Why?
It just didn't connect with me. And I watched the first 2 seasons. Everyone said you got to get past the first season, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then I watched the first season of the British show just to see if I was really the problem, and I ain't get down with that either. I ain't get down with that either. So like,
Aaron, can you take all the energy you have put into trying to get me to watch The Office? I think you need to.
He tried to watch it though. That's the difference.
I watched the first 2 seasons.
You just like saying you haven't watched it the same way I like saying I've never seen Friends, because I like saying I've never seen Friends. You know why? I've never seen Friends.
I'm black. I've seen Living Single, where they got the idea from.
I watched all Living Single. I've never seen Friends.
Exactly. That's where the idea came from. The guy who created it said it. He saw Living Single and was like, I could do that with white people. Kind of the same way that the guy did with that Maurice Starr did with New Kids on the Block, where he was originally associated with New Edition. It was like, I could do this with white people. And
he ripped them off, gave them VCRs and stupid stuff instead of paying them. But yeah. But anyway, it's a FMV game. So I don't know, it looked interesting to me. Check it out. It's called Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus.
Yeah, I got the link from the jump.
So I thought it was a movie, and then I'm like, oh, it's an FMV game. So
can you put the link in the chat for the people?
Or good idea.
Can you put links? I put the link there, but I was saying I didn't know, because sometimes you can't put links in some of these chats.
I don't know how half this stuff works on Twitch, so you can probably do anything you want. Now I wouldn't even be able to do anything about it.
Okay,
that's such a bad opening. I'm gonna go fix that now.
It probably is. Peacemaker, still enjoying the mess out of that show. I did not think I was gonna like that show as much as I am. It's making me feel like I should go back and watch like maybe Doom Patrol and some other stuff, DC TV
Doom
stuff.
Patrol's real good.
I watched the first episode of Doom Patrol because they had it for free on YouTube once.
You didn't like it?
And I was like, that was really cool. But at the time, it was on the other app.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not getting an app for that and some Teen Titans crap that I don't really care that much about. So let me go ahead and put this on pause. But Brendan Fraser in that first episode was fantastic.
He's what's his name?
He plays Robot Man.
He's the Robot Man. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, Doom Patrol is great. Like, it's weird. Like, don't go into it expecting like a superhero show or whatever.
I saw
they
an
meet,
episode. I think it was at your house. I watched it,
probably they meet a street called Fred, if I remember correctly.
and they try to like keeps change. It's like it keeps them there.
Right. It's protecting the people. Like it. I mean, at one point, someone like essentially has the ability to influence people by how they like move, and it causes everyone in the vicinity to have orgasms. There are a lot of weird things going on.
That's the
in
thing.
Doom Patrol.
That's the thing.
And Cyborg shows up in it, even though he's generally never in the Doom Patrol. But they brought Cyborg into that. So
Okay.
Instead of Beast Boy, since he's over in Titans.
All right. And last thing I'll mention is I'm also enjoying Abbott Elementary, a show that was, I guess, created and written by Quinta Brunson. So
I've heard good things.
Yeah,
I'm
based on
enjoying that show.
Her mother's teaching experience in Philadelphia for 40 years. I saw an interview with her this week about it. So
was it the Jimmy Kimmel thing where he actually had like her 6th grade teacher that she named the show after?
No, this is going to be a thing. My parents watch at least part of America's Funniest Home Videos on Sundays, and she was also on there.
That's
they're
still a
pulling
show.
all the stops.
Abbott Elementary. So that's where I remember seeing it. But I didn't see the Jimmy Kimmel thing. So.
I see. That is Kina. Yeah, A-Track. Why would I spend another hour watching Pure Misery when I already spend 40 hours a week in similar office environment? The show. I mean, here's the thing. It's not for everybody, but clearly it resonates with people. Like it's been watched more since it was on, and it was a hit then. Just saying, like it's not for everybody.
So what
but
it
is
is
a really
popular
good show.
Popular things are very good.
No, that's the thing. I have good taste and I like it. So people with good taste can like it. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I'm done. Tidy.
I mean, we already talked about Boba Fett. Peacemaker, I'm really enjoying. I already talked about Jedi gaslighting, and I apparently, had to. Anyway, I mean, aside from we got snow over the weekend. Like that was a fun kind of not event. Because like it was only a couple inches, so. But aside from that, nothing else too great and exciting going on right now. So.
All right, we'll jump into the games we've been playing. Scar, you're first.
And I've been playing a lot. I've reconnected with a friend of mine, who we used to work together, and he's the reason why I started being an Xbox. Like we used to play together, and they used to talk about playing Halo and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, Halo, that don't even sound like anything that's actually fun. So they invited me over to one of my friend's house, and they proceeded to whoop the dog mess out of me. I kept it clean. They whooped me so bad. The next day, I went and got a payday loan and bought me an Xbox.
They beat you pretty bad, huh?
I've been pretty much Xbox main pretty much since. I sold my PS2 not too far after that. And so like I've pretty much been an Xbox guy ever since, because I wanted to not feel that defeated ever again. Like I don't know how to control that. I never used twin sticks before. You know what I mean? Like I played Unreal Tournament, so like I know how to work I know how to work it on the computer, or at least I did at that time. I can't use mouse and keyboard now. But like, that type of thing. But like, so we recently reconnected around the time when Infinite came out, and we've played a lot of Infinite. I will say Infinite is the best feeling Halo game since 3. Yes. I despise 4 and 5. This seems like an extension of 3. This game seems like an extension of 3. Yeah. And I despise 4 and 5, especially 4. I hate that game.
I never finished 5.
I am a Halo fan. I'm a Halo fan. 5 is just like they tried too hard, and they did a little bit too much. And it's just like, okay, you didn't really need to do all of this. And then like there's so much in both 4 and 5 that if you don't read the books, you have no idea what's actually going on. Like, why are these other Spartans here? Who is this guy that's the bad guy?
Who is the Didact?
Yeah, if you've never read the books, you have no idea who that is, and they don't explain anything.
No,
I feel like
then
they do if you look for all the little video things. But I didn't find them, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's the problem. Then.
Yeah, like that's when you go to YouTube to actually find someone who actually found all of them for you, and then you go, oh, okay. But like, you know what I mean? Like one of the old Didact's homies ended up being 343. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know none of this if you didn't read the books, which I did. I'm an audiobook person, so I can't really say I read the books.
But the books information. So
yes, but like one of the books of the Forerunner, one of the books of the Forerunner trilogy, the guy is like talking, and like at the end, he sometimes. Wow.
No, not you.
Yeah, it's all good. At the end of the book, sonically, he morphs. His voice morphs into 343 as he, as he is changed. And like sonically, they do that. But like all of this stuff, like you don't know any of this. So like, the Didact and the 343, they homies, and you don't even know they homies because they never cross paths. You know what I mean? Like it's all kinds of stuff in the books, but like Infinite, I didn't play much of the single player. Like I played a little bit, but then every time I turned the game on, somebody wanted to play multiplayer, so I've been playing a lot of multiplayer. And this is the first time I've got into a versus multiplayer in a very long time. I've been co-op only for years. I'm talking almost 7-8 years. I've been pretty much co-op only. I don't play versus because I don't want to feel that part of the I don't want to listen to that part of the community, because the moment I speak, some 15-year-old or 10-year-old child is, that guy Scarfinger is an N-word, and like now we got a problem.
Right. It's you're always best
never
to
chat
just
with the public.
Either go into a party chat, and then just mute your, like you don't have to do any, like just make sure you don't hear the general public. That's generally, I made that mistake the other day, and people, my teammates are calling me disparaging words. I'm like, dude, I'm holding my own here. Like, what are you doing?
Dog. Same thing, dog. What are we doing? Same thing,
like so I reported that dude. Yeah. I know it didn't do anything, but I still was like, I'm gonna, say my piece to the. Now, granted, I haven't reported anybody in a long time.
Nor have I.
There is a long list of things that you can accuse people of, including
really
not just saying racist things or whatever. Now it's like, did they? Do you believe? Like, basically, you say, are they swatting you or someone else?
Wow.
Are they about to commit a heinous, violent crime? Like, we encourage you to call the authorities if you believe someone is in imminent danger. Like,
it's gotten that serious, though.
It is quite a long list of things to pick from. I had no idea.
Yeah, I haven't reported someone in a long time, but I had a homeboy of mine reported because I was playing with some friends and we were all black, and someone realized that we were black, so they just started calling us everything, asking us, how do we have internet? Are we stealing it from our neighbors? How do we afford our Xboxes? And like all of this stuff just going off. And the one of the guys calls one of us an effing F-head, and one of my guys repeated it back to him when we won the match, and he got reported for saying effing F-head.
Yeah,
because he was just repeating it back to that guy who said it to him. So like that's when I knew that versus mode was not for me anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have even hung around in that game for that long. I probably would have.
Yeah, it was just kind of a thing. It was just kind of a thing.
And even in the example I gave, I didn't have a headset on. Like I was not participating in the conversation. I was just hearing it because I made the mistake of just going in, and anybody who had a microphone was showing up on my TV audio system. So I won't be making that mistake again anytime soon. But you know, like I've played a lot of Halo over the years, and fell off pretty quickly on the last couple. But as I stated before, just my personal opinion with this one, I wasn't having that great of a time with this game. Multiplayer, I have not touched a single player at all, even still. And then about a week ago, I was playing with my regular guys, and one of them said to me, I feel like the aiming is off in this game. And I was like, damn, if you're not right. And I looked it up. There is a setting in this game by default that adds lag to your controller.
What?
And I went into the settings menu and I found this, and I turned the dial in the other direction. Gameplay's so much better now. I've been playing it basically every night ever since.
Did not know that. Okay.
I could not believe it's called. It's. I should have been ready with this, but it's called something acceleration, and it's designed. There's a whole bunch of settings designed to not let you see the drift in your controllers. That is the point of all of this. So that if your controller is in really bad shape, which a lot of them are, straight out of the box, it will erase the drift. But it will also delay all of your inputs.
Right. It compensates for the drift. And
so you can tweak that a little bit, but
yeah, one of my right stick on my Series S is drifting.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate thing.
Is it a Joy-Con? Are you sure? Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, I don't even use my Switch, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I've been, but my friend, we played some Halo, and then I was telling him about my love for The Division, and he was just kind of like, I played that game, but I didn't play it for very long. Like, you really think that this is something worth playing? And I'm like, yes. So we went through The Division 1. And he like really got into it. Like there was a couple of times where we were up, started playing around 10 or so, and we were playing till like 5:30 and 7:30 in the morning the next day, just getting it in, grinding. I love The Division. Like that is my favorite game of the past few years. I know it's a couple years old, but like I love that game, and I love that game still. And we just beat the expansion to The Division 2 like 2 days ago, and because it was just the two of us, it was really difficult to do. So we were up to like 4 o'clock in the morning, knowing that I had to be up at 7 to go to work. Fun times for me.
That's 3 hours of sleep. Yeah.
Yes,
at best.
Mm-hmm. But it was worth it because it's Division and I love it. But yeah, so playing those games with him again really just kind of brought a lot of that back. And I've deleted characters to start over with people like over and over again. I've probably been through the Division 1 5 times. Like I deleted a character to start over with someone else. Okay. And I'm this character that I deleted one to start over with him. And this is probably my 7th time playing through the story.
Wow.
Yeah, getting it in.
The Division. I played both of them. I just couldn't understand, like, when I'm shooting at somebody in the game, and it's like, because they're higher level, like, why aren't they dying? Like, what is this? Yeah. They're absorbing all these bullets?
Yeah, it's really, like, and then, like, the dudes that don't seem to have any armor on, and they just got on a bulletproof hoodie for some reason. It's like, a lot of people are bullet sponges, but, like, if you really feel like there's the whole bullet sponge thing kind of turns you off, Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Both of those games, even the heavies, if you get 2 headshots in a row, good luck, buddy, you're out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like you shoot the heavies in Breakpoint. The first good shot will make his helmet fly off. The second headshot, he's out of here. And they just did it. They just did an update, and they added like the Bodarks in like a territory control type mode to Breakpoint. Mm-hmm. I haven't played it in a while because the game just kept crashing on me. So I just kind of finished the story mode. I didn't even play the Sam Fisher content that I paid extra for. The game just kept crashing, and
what's the Sam Fisher content consist of?
There was like another like a DLC storyline where you're working with Sam Fisher.
I want to.
That's the one where they got Michael Ironside to do the voice.
Yes. Yeah. Did he sound drunk? Because I never played it. Did he sound drunk this time? I mean, we know. Like, but then so I've been playing like the Division a lot, and then in my free time when I'm just not doing anything, I play a lot of 2 Point Hospital. I love tycoon games and things of that nature. And 2 Point Hospital is like one of my favorite games of all time. I can't wait for 2 Point Campus in a few months. It is just a game that I enjoy playing so much that I even bought it for the Switch, and I never even used my Switch. But I wanted to support the developers that much. I own it for PC. I own it for Xbox. Well, actually, technically, I got it on Game Pass on Xbox, so I didn't pay for it. That's why I bought it for the Switch, because I still wanted to show my love. Mm-hmm. But I love 2 Point Hospital. It's just kind of chill. And it's like the evolution of Theme Hospital for anyone that played that back in the day. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital with the wacky ailments and things of that nature. And it's just a really good chill game. And I really, really super enjoy that game. Like I said, I even bought it for a console I don't use.
I gotta say, Game Pass I haven't really played my Switch or my PS5 a whole lot. I just turn on the Xbox.
Yeah, I like really
Play Game
and
Pass
like that's
stuff.
what, and like so I got a bonus, and until I got a bonus last December, I was still using my OG Xbox One. Like I never got the other ones. I still got the big little VCR looking joint, and then like I decided if I'm going to put my money to something, I'm putting it on another Xbox. The S is the only thing I could find. I really wish I was able to find an X at the time, because the storage thing is a little bit of a pain. But I mean, some of the games that I play are not enhanced, so I can play them off of an external if they're not SX enhanced. That sounded vaguely sexual when I said that.
But you always get the speed bonus of the SSD if it's on the
that's true.
Even if it's not
because everything
enhanced.
I started playing the Division on the S, and I didn't feel like, because like some of my people had already got like a 1X and stuff like that, so that there's much faster and move. Like we would all be playing together. We go into an elevator, and by the time my game loaded and I got out of the elevator, they're already out shooting, and I'm like, how? Now I'm that guy. I'm always the first one out of everything because I got the S. So I'm out there, and it was like, man, I'm still waiting. I'm on 80-something%. Oh well. You better come on, because I'm out here serving. So like that the S was a really good investment for me. I wish I had more space, but then again, I don't really play a lot, so I can just delete some stuff, and I don't have data caps now right now because Comcast, but I don't really have data caps, so like I can delete something and then bring it back and that kind of thing, and it'll be perfectly fine. So
the moral of the story is Game Pass, kind of like
Game Pass has been a lifesaver to someone who like I said, I moved on my own, so now I'm paying all of these bills by myself, and I don't have the money to put $60 or $70 on a game right now. Like, you know what I mean? So I pay for Game Pass Ultimate, even though I don't use the PC side. I've paid for Game Pass since it was available, because right when it was announced, that was my Xbox Live was running out. So I just like, you know what? I'll just do the Ultimate. I'll get the Game Pass, and I'll get my Xbox Live stuff, and I'll just pay for it every month. I've been paying $15 a month since it came out.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're really not, if you were gonna pay for the regular Game Pass, if they even still offer that at the $10 a month, and then $5 a month for Gold, you're not even paying a premium for the Ultimate anyway. So right. It's still a good deal.
Yeah, and the amount of games that I play from Game Pass would, like, if I would have paid for this,
it'd be a lot more. Like,
I would have paid a lot more, and I got to try stuff that I normally would not have tried. Like, I got to play Forza Horizon, And that was a cool little game to play with friends, but I don't really get into driving games. So I'm not going to sit down and play this by myself. But like just to be able to play that game with my friends was really dope. And it's something that I didn't have to pay for. That was great. We did a game night one night, just playing Forza Horizon, just kind of digging around and just kind of having fun with the friends, talking on the chat, and everybody was making fun of me because I didn't have any cars, because I had never played the game before.
Which makes sense because you never played it before.
Yeah, but they're just like, but like also I never played the game before, so that means when they set up a match and they set up a race, you can, if you don't have a car, you can use a version of the person who started the match's car. But like, guess what? I never played the game before. I can control this. You know what I mean? It was basically pinball for me. I'm just bouncing wall to wall to wall because I can't control this because I never played the game before. But it was still fun. And that game looks fantastic.
It does. I played it twice.
Yeah, I played it just long enough to earn enough in-game currency to buy the closest thing to what is my actual real-life car. Drove it around, took some screenshots of it, made that my wallpaper on my Xbox, never turned it on again.
Yeah, it's a really cool game. The last racing game I ever really got into was The Crew. I liked The Crew.
I remember that. There was a sequel, wasn't it? The Crew.
Yeah, but they gave it out on Xbox Gold at some point. So like I had it, and then like so I got together with a few friends, and like that game was just just fun. And like even when you get down to it, they had like the DLC where you had like was it Hot Wheels tracks and stuff in it and stuff. Like that seemed like it would have been really fun if I would have kept on with that game. But I get bored with racing games really fast. Racing games and fighting games, I get bored really fast.
Yeah. This is Burnout or something like that. That's what I played a lot of.
I do not like anything post Revenge.
Agreed.
Revenge was really good. Paradise, I did play a lot of Paradise, but I missed the crash mode in Paradise.
I miss having my road blocked off, dog. I don't want to be able to, like, you know what I mean? I block the road off of where I'm not supposed to go, please.
Yeah.
Please. That's all I wanted. I wanted the Revenge was cool with me. I even bought a racing wheel for those days.
Yeah, Takedown was my favorite, and Revenge was close, but I feel like it was almost like a step back. But it had some cool stuff in it that Takedown didn't. Takedown is an awesome game.
Yes, absolutely.
GameEnthus likes Burnout Revenge as well.
Word up. Oh yeah, that's all I got game wise.
Okay, Mike, how about you?
Well, I chimed in a bit on Halo, which is mostly the only thing I played in the last week. But now that I've figured out how to make the controls like decent, it's made the game much more enjoyable for me. I mean, before that, I kept running into these matches going like, why is it so hard to shoot people in the head? Like, I'm moving the sticks like normal, like something's off here. And I couldn't figure it out until my friend said, I said earlier about, he thought the aiming was off. And I was like, I didn't really look into this. So I found a YouTube video, some guy really explaining, hey, try this and do this. And, everybody's controller is going to be a little different. So you have to move the slider a little bit and, figure out what works for you. And I was able to turn my number down kind of low compared like what that guy in the video was. His stick started drifting before I got to the number that I was able to put mine on and not have any drift. So I guess I'm one of the lucky ones that has an Xbox controller where the drift isn't horrifyingly bad. So I like to stick with that because every single one of my 360 controllers had noticeable drift. It didn't matter. I kept switching around. They were all terrible. They were just, it was frustrating as could be. And my Xbox One controllers, I was starting to get it on the ones I was using. So at least with this, I got something. But they added a mode in that felt like at least here's a little something. I forget the total name of it, but it was something like something attrition. Essentially, you had a limited number of lives in total. And then once your team is out of respawns, they can revive you after you die, you know, if they're physically able to. But
No, they
also,
can't. No, they can't.
well, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're
also
gonna die before that happens.
a circle is closing in once it gets to that point, a la a battle royale style kind of a thing, smaller and smaller and smaller. And I was playing this one on my own. It was like, okay, well, I'm in the middle of this circle and it stopped shrinking, and I can see the only other person on the other team that's still alive is right. His dot is in the circle with me, but he's not here. Oh, he's below me on a lower level. Wait a second. I'm standing next to a guy I can revive. So I revived him. I stood in the circle. He jumped over the edge, which was in the like out of bounds area, and then got back in, killed the guy, probably died in the process. But it was like, oh, okay, this was a weird way to win a pseudo battle royale kind of a thing. It was fun. That was probably the most enjoyable thing I've done in Halo, outside of jacking people with the grappling hook. But that is so rare, just because I just don't get it in multiplayer very often at all.
I got so many videos, because with the Xbox Series S, they have a nice little button that when something cool happens, you just press the button, which is fantastic, instead of having to press the Xbox button and then press whatever corresponding button to record that. But I have so many videos of people trying to use the grapple hook and they're closing in, and I just punched them out of the air. It's like the best feeling. It's the best feeling when someone think that they about to get you and you're just like, nope.
I have not been able to do that. Mostly, I've been the one that died on my way to somebody when I attempt that. But it's been very rare because I've not played a whole lot of matches where grappling hook is even
it rarely
on
comes
the
up.
map. But yeah, so I finally found the game to be enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to more things opening up. It still feels like there is a very limited amount of game types that you can pick from compared to previous Halo games. So, but they're still announcing stuff. They just announced that they are not ready to announce the roadmap that they were planning to announce by the end of January.
Right. We just announced we don't have an announcement.
Yeah, we told you there's going to be an announcement, but we have no announcement. That's the announcement.
And Big Team Battle is still broke.
Oh, is it?
I thought I just read an article that said it got fixed today.
Oh, it just got fixed today, but as far as I know, it's still broke.
What was
but
the
I don't play Big Team.
I don't play.
I don't know. People just say,
I dipped my toe in some Big Team, but I really haven't played a whole lot of it. It's not really my favorite kind of a mode.
I stay pretty much between.
Teams.
I don't do a free for all. I do Team Slayer. I do Fiesta. Fiesta is great. Fiesta is super fun, and the Samurai event last time it was tied to Fiesta, so I got to play a lot of Fiesta. I actually did all of my weekly challenges that week of the last time they did the Tenrai event, and that was the first time I've ever done anything like that. Which was, and then the thing that you get once you do everything is a red visor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I felt proud, and I started playing this so much I bought the battle pass because I got tired of earning a whole bunch of stuff I didn't actually get.
I need to get
showing you that you earned it.
I've unlocked a ton of stuff that I told that I can do nothing with until I buy the battle pass.
And here's the worst part about it is I keep unlocking all of this cool stuff. I'm a level 30 something, but I basically just use Carter from Reach, and I'm just Carter. It's I got a samurai outfit. I got all this other stuff. But I'm just Carter. I'm just gonna be Carter until I unlock a meal, of course. But yeah, I'm just Carter.
I'm sorry. I must have heard you wrong. It sounded like you meant to say George, who is the best character from Reach.
George is the best character, and he was the only Spartan 2 on the squad. But Emil, come on, Emil was voiced.
Emil was the biggest tryhard in that whole game.
But
Emil literally scratched a skull onto his helmet, which couldn't have really worked well from the other side of that helmet.
Have you seen The Wire?
I have.
The guy who voices Emil is Marlo from The Wire. You might want to watch your mouth. I'm just saying. His name is his name. You might want to watch your mouth.
Jamie Hector does the voice of a Halo character? I did not know that.
Of Emil
Yeah,
on
of
Halo
Emil.
Reach.
Did not know that.
Yep. Yes, he is. He is the voice of Emil on Halo Reach.
Oh, GameEnthus says in the chat, do you guys think Splitgate out Halo'd Halo? I played it twice.
I never installed it.
I have no idea what is Splitgate.
It's like a weird mix of Halo and Portal.
Yeah, you kind of like teleport all over the place. Yeah, it is free to play.
Right. Well, it's still in beta.
Is it on multiple platforms or just one?
It is. It is available on Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like it had a moment, and then
it just seems like there was enough going on with it.
All right, I got to ask. So if I come across it and I got space that day,
give it a shot. It was fun. Like it's
yeah.
Again, you just have to think about like you can open portals, and so that can change how you attack people and whatnot. So like.
You can shoot a portal behind somebody, then go and kill them. And
I feel like I would be terrible at the strategy of that game.
I'm not good. I'm not good. The 2 times I played, I had fun, but I did not do well. So
yeah, this article I'm reading apparently says a hot fix push today seems to have fixed Big Team Battle. So,
what was the problem with Big Team?
Well, it was that people couldn't get into it, and they pushed a update in early January. In January, following the cool winter contingency event, and right as the slightly cooler Cyber Showdown was started, 343 Industries rolled out a hotfix intended to address woes with Big Team Battle. It did not work. Today's hotfix, however, seems to have done the trick. It's looking good right now, says senior community manager, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's funny because, as I say, I didn't play a whole lot of Big Team, but every time I tried, I got right in. As far as I can recall, anyway.
A couple of times. And yes, Jane, I need to go back and rewatch The Wire from the beginning.
I don't. I did not like The Wire as much as most people do. I didn't love it. It is
The Wire or The Office. I don't know.
HBO has this thing. HBO has this thing, and I felt the same way about Game of Thrones. I've only seen the first season, and I stopped. HBO has this thing to whereas they don't really introduce the characters. Like you're dropped in like midlife for all of these people, and they all know each other, and they don't actually like you kind of learn who these people are in their relationship to each other over time. But like, no, I need to know like who this person is. And then like in Game of Thrones, like the first season, you think that the main character is the main character until the main character gets messed up and his head chopped off, and you're like, oh no, that's not the main character. What are we doing here? And like, I don't understand what's happening here. I don't know what's happening.
Watch Ned Ryerson die, and then you didn't want to watch anymore?
No, I finished the season, and I'm just like, I don't know if I would like to continue because I don't really understand the relationships with all of these people.
Well, the old joke about Game of Thrones is there's 140. It's like Twitter. There's 144 characters, and no good will come of it. So,
exactly. And then like everybody talks crap about the last season, and I've been through this before with Lost. So I don't necessarily want to start watching it to make it to that season and be yelling at my TV like I did with Lost.
I watched one episode of Lost and was like, yeah, I'm good.
Lost was really good up until that.
I really enjoyed Lost.
It was really good until that last season. I was literally, my ex-wife can tell you, I was screaming at the TV. And there was that one season of Friday Night Lights that was that too, where the big bad of the season could have been solved with one phone call. And I'm just yelling at my screen, call that B mama, call that B mama. All you have to do is call that B mama. All of this would go away if you just call her mama. And I'm like yelling at the screen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole big bad of that season could have been solved with one phone call. This doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, Friday Night Lights is old, but basically the big bad of the season is the lady who was a guidance counselor basically talked to a teenager who was pregnant. Her mom forced her to get an abortion, and then once they found out she had an abortion, they came down on the guidance counselor for giving her options instead of calling her mama, who forced her to go to the abortion clinic. Like no one ever called her mama. They just came down on the guidance counselor lady, and it made no sense. It made no sense that no one called her mama. Mm-hmm. And her mama would have said, yeah, I made her go. And then the whole thing would have been done. All right,
That is frustrating.
I still feel really upset about this. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. Hey, it happens. It happens. Mike, is that it for you?
I think so. Yes. No, I know so.
Oh, okay. So I'll try to go through the highlights. I know I have a lot of stuff up here. I'll try to. Oh, GameEnthus, yeah, you did miss some of the Peacemaker discussion. We didn't really get into it a lot. I just talked about how much I like Peacemaker. I'm really enjoying it. So
yes, it's very crass.
It can, definitely.
But in a good way.
It has a lot of heart to it, though.
And like, let's be honest, Vigilante is the best character in that show.
Yeah.
Vigilante is the best character in the show. And shout out to Tasty.
Yes, Danielle Brooks.
Tasty is the shiznit. I
never finished Orange is the New Black. I never finished it.
I stopped watching after season 2 once you realized that Piper is the real villain of the story, and it was just like, don't really care about this. And all of the people of color suffer because of Piper.
Yeah.
so like, no. So I stopped watching after season 2 after she really beat up old girl in the last episode, and it's just like, yo, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I think I stopped like season 4. Like, Mike, you finished it, right?
No, we got past the riot, and I don't even remember anything after that.
I did see one good scene after I stopped watching it, and that good scene was with Crazy Eyes. Somebody was talking to Crazy Eyes, and she started imagining the people around her doing the cha-cha slide. That was a hilarious scene. Like, they're having a conversation, but she's like really like in her own mind, and like you can hear the song playing, and they're like dancing. And that scene was hilarious. But I didn't watch anymore. Really, I didn't watch no more episodes after the end of the second season.
I say I'm gonna go back, but I know I'm not really gonna go back.
So just going back, I know, just briefly though, with Peacemaker, I feel like maybe from what I've heard, I might enjoy it, but I disliked the Peacemaker character so much by the end of the Suicide Squad movie.
Oh no! This is something different.
Oh, it redeems. Yeah,
they definitely. They add some depth to him. Yeah,
he was entertaining, but I felt like what he did to Flag was like sort of unredeemable.
And if you like Robert Patrick, do not watch Peacemaker.
Oh yeah,
because you really believe that Robert Patrick calls people like me niggas in his off time.
Or anytime, honestly.
I mean, like he plays that character way too well. Yeah, but like, if you like Robert Patrick, you won't like him in this, and that might mess up your Terminator 2 fantasies. I don't know how that goes, but like,
you know what I mean?
Fantasies? What are we talking about here?
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you could, like sometimes when you just be dreaming about stuff, and you're not necessarily being Robert Patrick, but like Robert Patrick morphs into some chick that you really like, and then like the morphing continues when it's around that thing, and you just kind of like, oh.
But is this that like, scene in Simpsons where Homer doesn't want
that happened?
I mean, the way she could morph, if she was the Terminator that morphs into stuff, like it's custom made for you now. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
If you're going down this road, isn't that just Terminator 3 at that point then? Like,
because she wasn't.
Leave Robert Patrick out of this.
She wasn't fully like. No, I'm just saying like the type of Terminator was like. If she was the liquid Terminator, then that would be like what I'm talking about. But
that whole thing didn't make any sense at all. It was.
Is she liquid from the jump? So that means she's already wet. No, I'm kidding.
She's liquid, covering up. Not only the liquid metal is only covering up the physical endoskeleton that it just.
No, I mean, Robert.
It was a total step back.
He melted to a puddle. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, like,
she can't do that.
They want no exoskeleton.
He can't walk through. She couldn't walk through jail bars like he did.
Know what I mean?
Right. Like,
you know what I'm saying? But
I understood. So I don't know. I did watch a video about White Dragon because I know nothing about that.
Me too. And apparently they're not associated at all. Well, and then there's several.
Right. You're right. Yeah. So it's. I was like, oh. And at one point, he has a dragon. Like
yes, he has an actual dragon, and then like no one ever explains where the dragon comes from.
Okay,
then,
I think we might have just watched the same video then.
Yes, I think we did. No one ever explains where the dragon comes from, and then like later on, another one comes back. Like supposedly he died, and then all of a sudden there's a new one with a dragon, and they still don't explain where the dragon.
Then there's a second dragon. Like it's a different dragon. They don't look the same.
It's a vastly different dragon. Like, and it's like, where do we get dragons from? Like, why did
he's hanging out with like Captain Nazi and Captain Swastika? And like, also DC Comics sucks at naming.
Absolutely,
that's very on the nose. That's not even.
Yes, and it's like really,
Krieg.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like his history is like super weird. It's super cringy. It's just like, who wrote this?
It's more like. How did James Gunn know about this character? Like,
right. What kind of research you did? And if you didn't have to do any research, now we have all of the questions. but yeah, this
came from you. Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that character, but first of all, the character doesn't have any association with Peacemaker in the comics, right. So like that kind of is like super weird. But it's like it's like that character is really weird. But I really want to see Robert Patrick get busy. Like, I want him to put on the suit, and I want to see him get busy, and I want to see him get busted up. Like, I want to see him get busy first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you finally see Yoda get busy in episode 3, the greatest.
Okay, wait a minute.
The greatest Star Wars numbered movie.
Wait, are we encouraging?
That was Clone Wars.
Yoda.
That was one of the worst things ever filmed.
Like, yeah, like.
Oh wait, no, I thought it was 3.
Wait a minute. We talking about that scene where Yoda limps into the room.
That's Attack of the Clones. When he fights Dooku at the end.
Yeah,
that's
sorry,
Attack
of the Clones.
Yeah, that's Attack of the Clones.
But he also he does the lightsaber business and falls down and hits his head in
and then he
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, he does.
In Revenge of the Sith, that's when he actually fights.
Oh, when they fought in like the
that's
hall.
when he fights. Yeah, and
I mean the Dooku fight, like he's bouncing around and doing. Like,
but he fought Palpatine,
and they show Grogu jumping like that, dog. So you know what's gonna be popping, dog.
Does like
what's gonna be popping? We saw the early stages.
My favorite part of that is when Luke is like force kind of lifting him every 3 steps
because he's walking too slow.
Like he's like, come on. Like my infinite Jedi patience does not have time for your slowness.
I thought we weren't going to spoil it about the characters that was in this.
Oh.
But now they just the deep fake was better.
Yes.
Anyway,
that's what happens when you hire the guy that proves he could do it better on his own.
Yes, the guy who did it like a YouTube video of him doing it better, and they hired him.
Aaron, talk about board games so everyone gets bored.
Wow. Okay, so
no disagreement. There was just a lot of reaction.
Wow. So I played Stellar Leap, which is it's a 4X game, and I didn't really know what 4X was, so I looked it up. So sorry, y'all. 4X is explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. It's basically a game where like you're getting resources and expanding like your territory. But anyway, I played it solo. Very fun game. I played it wrong. I'm gonna get back in there. Play some Lost Ruins of Arnak with Amanda Panda and Jess. Played it on Board Game Arena, BGA. Very fun. Prototype of Way Too Many Cats. Tile placement game. Set collection. Got the email saying, hey, can you send it to somebody else? Which I knew was coming, but it's a lot of fun. And when something's really fun, you don't want to send it up to anybody else, but you have to. So that's coming to Kickstarter 22nd of this month. So yeah, I probably should get that sent out to somebody. Play some Blank Slate with the fam and my cousin. Anybody played Blank Slate before? Nope. You would like this game. It's real simple. There's a whole a box of just cards with one word on them, but one word in a space. So like there was the word micro with a space. So everybody has to write. No, you could write that. So everybody has to write.
I mean, maybe I'm old, but I went Micro Machines. I just want to point that out that I did not
John Machida.
I didn't know. I didn't go that way this time. Like I
This
just
is
want
a
to point
train-
that out.
This is a train of consciousness.
That's my
game,
whole
right?
point. Because if 2 people write the same thing down, they get 3 points. If more than 2 people write the same thing down, they all get 1 point. And then if nobody matches at all, you get nothing. That game is so simple, but like the fact that you said machines never even occurred to me. Everybody wrote down something different every time. So
Man, Micro Machines,
I remember.
Growing up in the hood, I wanted some Micro Machines so bad. I stole something off my classmate because I'm like, yo, dog, this is the only way I'm gonna get some. So like, I
You got
jacked
some.
I jack some. Wolso get some, bad enough, take some. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is.
I'm saying, but that's the thing about Waste Slate is like it makes you like we would say things like, okay, I'm gonna write down like the most obvious thing or like not quite the most obvious thing, but that means something completely different to everybody. Very fun. So like if you're into party games, Mike, blank slate, it'll be a hit. Trust me.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where it's like when you end up with the same thing that somebody else said in Fibbage, and you're just like, really?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It just puts the same thing up on the thing. It does sound a bit like this other game that I have played multiple times with my in-laws called Double Dittos.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You just write down. It's like it's a category, and you write down 2 words, and if you match somebody, you get a point. If you match both of your words with somebody, you get 3 points, and if you match nothing, you get no points. So you're always going to score a 0, 1, or 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. What else? Metro X. That's a flip and write where everybody has like a board with like a metro map, and you're writing down numbers. Like so if number 4 comes up, you can cross off like 4 stations on a particular colored metro line. And you're trying to finish routes and stuff like that. Very fun. We played that at like midnight. I was surprised everybody got it.
Kind of like a reverse Ticket to Ride.
You're not necessarily getting cars to match routes. It's just that you flip over one car with a number, you can cross off that many things.
Yeah, you're crossing it off instead of adding it on, is what I'm saying. It's like a reverse Ticket to Ride.
Yes. No, I didn't think about it that way. That's a good point. Played some Castles of Burgundy, the dice game with Jess and her husband over Zoom. Very just Zoom friendly, roll and write. Very fun game. I was mention this last one. That Time You Killed Me. So The Time You Killed Me is like, imagine, it looks like chess, but it's like 3 boards that have 16 boxes on them. So it's like a 4x4 on 3 different boards. So one board is the past, one board is present, one board is the future. So, and the game comes with like 4 modules. So we played with the second one, which is statues. So basically, you're trying, how you win the game is everybody has one pawn on each present, past, present, future. So you're trying to eliminate the other player from at least 2 different times. But if you have a statue, you can like push the statue. If the statue moves or like, the first module is like seeds and trees. Like if you plant a seed in the past, it grows into a tree in the future. So you can like push your opponent into it, push them into the wall, stuff like that.
Looper Tenant the game.
What the game?
Looper Tenant.
Yes. I didn't see Tenet though, but I did see Looper.
You didn't see Tenet?
No.
Tenet is one of those movies.
Tenet is a good movie.
It's a good movie, but you have to watch it twice. You cannot watch that movie. It's kind of like Memento. Like you can't watch Memento once. Like it's impossible to watch that movie once.
I've watched Memento once,
then I didn't finish it.
I watched Memento twice back to back because I'm just like, I have to wrap my head around this.
I mean, I'd like to watch Memento again someday. I haven't seen it it was one of the movies when we first started dating that my now wife said to me, you need to see this. And we watched it. So I 18, 19 years ago, something like that.
Word.
One time.
I think I've already told this story on the show before.
Hated Memento and hated Tenet? Wow.
The first time I watched Tenet, I realized that my sound bar was broken because for the first like 30 minutes, there was the side music, but I didn't hear anyone talking. I thought it was just a real brave decision he had made. And then I realized the center channel didn't work.
Like what was the movie where nobody talked for the first 20 minutes?
Like
There Will Be Blood.
Or There Will Be Blood. Okay. So anyway.
Yeah, Quiet Place. Yeah, nobody spoke for the entire movie, right?
Yeah, no one ever.
The second one of that movie is so terrible.
Yeah, the second one, it was almost
If you actually, we go back to Scar's point of like, if people would just talk to, if people would talk to the mother in Friday Night Lights, if anyone just said anything to anyone in the second, you wouldn't need the second.
It was almost they just wrote a sequel. Like
it's like
just make a sequel.
You're basically like 28 months later.
Oh God! Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why did this need to be made?
I forgot they had made a sequel to 28 Days Later.
They did.
I also sometimes forget that there's the zombie movie and then there's the Sandra Bullock drunk movie.
Yeah, 28 days.
28 days.
Confused.
Oh yeah,
that's an Office joke, but you don't get that.
I don't watch Sandra Bullock movies except for that one where Regina King was her assistant. Back when Regina King was playing in movies where she was much better than the lead. I seen that one.
You didn't see Bird Box on Netflix?
Why would I do that to myself?
Okay, never mind.
Well, I ain't watched no Blind Side. I ain't watched that. Why would I watch a Sandra Bullock movie? What does that do for me?
I didn't watch The Blind Side, but I did watch Bird Box.
I mean,
Miss Congeniality,
I think Miss Congeniality is the movie I was talking about.
Okay.
Didn't Regina King play in that?
I never saw Miss Congeniality.
I don't remember her having an assistant in Miss Congeniality.
She was like not an assistant, but like she played in one of these movies. Yeah, she played in Miss Congeniality.
Oh, she was the FBI. She was her FBI like cohort. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
yes. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Back when Regina King played in a whole lot of stuff where she was much better than the main actress, but because she was black, things happen. I'm glad she's getting her due now. She finally got her star.
And we have people coming over this weekend. My wife's gonna make everybody watch. This jumps out of my brain. It was on Netflix.
Harder They Fall.
Yes, for the third time because we watched it, liked it. Then we were my parents. She made them watch it. And then
listen, Regina King has all of these acting credits under her name, but the most impressive thing she's ever done is to be the voice of both of the kids on the Boondocks. Like, how she did that?
Yeah, she did. She did it like a wonderful job at it too.
Like, for real. Like, she should have got an award for that.
Yeah.
She was both of the kids, and they are so different from each other.
Huey and Riley.
You know what I mean? And you know what? It was kind of like the dude who plays Commander Shepard. The reason why people say that the Fem Shep is better than him because he was never supposed to be Commander Shepard. And the same thing happened with her in the Boondocks. She was only supposed to be one of the kids, and she was just kind of doing a stand-in for the other, and they couldn't really find anybody, kind of like the same thing with Commander Shepard. So they just went with what they already had. And they're just like, all right, worked. You got it. You got it. Shout out to Commander Shepard. What's his name? Mark Meir?
I have no idea.
I believe so.
Mark Meir is also all of the Vorcha. And he is also the biotic god, the guy who's high and thinks he's the biotic god.
Yeah,
that is also Mark Meir. When you're playing male shepherd, he's talking to himself.
Short guy. What is his race? The guys that all have to live in the hermetic suits.
I forget his name.
Was his name Nifu Cal? His name
I barely remember his name. I'm just trying to remember. Anyway, it's not important. I'm waiting for Poison Pink Fluff
for 2000.
Yeah, his name is Nifu Cal, and he is a Volus.
Volus, that's
Volus.
It.
Yeah. Also Mark Meir, so he's talking to himself.
All right. The last thing I played was there's a free Simpsons steamed hams point and click thing. I'll leave it in the show notes, but it's like a little point and click thing of when Superintendent Chalmers comes to Principal Skinner's house and the whole steamed hams thing. It was funny. I don't know.
I have not actively watched The Simpsons since
it's been a
Mr.
long
Burns.
time.
Since Who Shot Mr. Burns? Like that's how long it's been. That's how long it's been.
A while ago.
That's been a minute. Tony, how about you?
This will be quick. Since the Snowmageddon was coming in this weekend, I ended up sheltering in place over at my girlfriend's house and brought games over. So we tried It Takes Two, and let's say I am a seasoned game player. She hasn't played a game that was in 3D.
Hey, look at that.
So I mean, we got to the second boss. She made a great effort, and I mean, it's a fun game. On the other hand, I got a lot of questions about, hey, we're like 6 months into this relationship. Why are we playing a game about a couple getting divorced?
Yeah, that seems like I played the other game that they made. What's the other one with the
Way Out?
A Way Out. I played A Way Out with my daughter, and like the skill level between us was very, very, very wide. Like I've been playing games since the 2600. So like be like, go this way, do that, and then because you're constantly both on the screen at the same time. So you're like, I'm trying to like help her out and play the game at the same time. It ended up being a very good game for us to play over like a weekend when she came to visit. It turned out to be really cool, but the first little bit of that game was very stressful. Did
you finish?
Yeah, Mike
Yes,
J
we
and I
did.
started that. We didn't finish it though.
We absolutely did finish.
A Way Out.
She wanted to finish A Way Out.
Okay.
So she wanted to play, so we played it and we finished the game.
Yeah. So we played that. I will let her, if she's in chat, speak to how it was to play with me. I thought I was being supportive. Anyway, and then we also played Mario Kart, and I ended up also playing with her brother-in-law. And yeah.
Mario Kart is a fun game.
Mario Kart, I love Mario Kart 8. It's a lot of fun.
And I generally hate Nintendo games. I bought a Switch, but I was very against buying any actual. No, I bought the Switch for portability, not for any Nintendo games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be able to play Diablo on the go. You know what I mean?
That's not the best version of Diablo, but it does function.
But I own Diablo on the other two consoles already anyway.
Right.
So like I wanted to be able to play that on the go, and like, a couple of other things that I bought for the Switch and then I never use it. I bought like Civ and all of this other stuff for the Switch, and I never.
I bought Civ 2 and I don't know why I did, because like the text is going to be tiny. Why would I put myself through that?
I played 2K. I played 2K on the Switch. Actually, I bought the worst 2K on the Switch. When I got my Switch, I bought 18. And the text is so small. It's kind of like how it was when I first got a 360 and I was on a CRT TV.
Oh, you were on a CRT playing like Dead Rising and you couldn't read the text.
No, I misread some text in Fallout and it ruined my Fallout experience, and I've never played Fallout since.
Well, so I was listening to Axe of the Blood God, which is a RPG podcast, and I found out there was a bug in Knights of the Old Republic for the Switch that made the text larger.
Oh.
And then they fixed that, and people are like, "Please don't fix this. I can read it now."
Exactly.
So we played those, and I had a lot of fun with both of them. And then what I picked up Pokemon Arceus for the Switch, which is the open world-ish, like
empty open world-ish from what
I've only just started it, and like it's weird because you're a kid from, let's say, modern day, but somehow you get transported back to like the 1800s, and like people are like scared of Pokemon, which makes sense because like these little animals can like rip open holes in space and time and all that. But like you're trying to like document them and all that, and you have to craft your own Pokeballs, and like it's more about
That's like dumb. Like if I get sent back to the 1800s using all of the things that I know about math and science, I'm going to be the new Knight's Tale, dog. Like, what are we talking about here?
See, that's an interesting way to look at it. You're either how I look at it is you're either going to immediately die from a disease, or you're going to be killed as a witch.
No,
one of the two.
because I actually went to school and I have an idea of how they made penicillin. I think I'll be okay.
Right. He is taking the devil's dirt and using it to heal people dead. Just dead.
You know what I mean? I'm not feeling so good. Find a brother some moldy bread. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's interesting. I just started it, so I haven't played a whole lot, and I continue my journey through playing the re-release of Diamond. But yeah, I mean, those have been the games that I've been playing. I'm looking forward to Dying Light 2. That comes out tomorrow, and the second Horizon Zero Dawn comes out this month, and I am very much looking forward to that. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I've been playing lately.
All right.
So, and Wordle, like a lot of Wordle.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm like the only person that I know that does never.
I really enjoy Wordle. Yeah.
I enjoy Wordle every day.
I don't even know. I know what people post to social media, like the thing of the day or whatever the crap that is, but
Yep.
I'd have no idea what the actual game is.
I mean, you might enjoy it. You should give it a shot.
Nah, I don't play games on my phone.
Well, but it's in a browser, so
Yeah,
you can play it
in
on
a browser too.
Nah, I don't want to do that either.
You can play in a browser on your Xbox.
I bought a Nintendo Switch. Why would I play this on my phone or my browser?
It's 5 minutes a day.
It's one puzzle.
Like it's one puzzle. Everyone gets the same one.
Nah. New York Times just bought that junk. Good luck for y'all.
Yeah, well, it's free days are probably numbered, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap on that. The last game that I really played on my phone was Trivia Crack. Like that game.
I miss Trivia Crack. I don't play.
I miss Trivia Crack. I even thought about buying the new version of Trivia Crack, but I don't know nobody who wants to play.
And yes, James, 5 minutes. I refuse. I do not put Wordle down.
Good night,
like
Adrian.
I am there to.
Yes, good night.
I am there to finish Wordle in the time that I'm picking up that phone. I don't like people tell me that they go and like think about it.
Oh, I'll come back. If I'm not gonna, I come back. Yeah,
I am here. This is like I'm here to finish this at this moment.
No, the problem is I go to Twitter and I see Kina did it in like half a guess, like -3, and I'm like, well, I better do it in like 3-2 or otherwise.
So, she said goodnight. Sometimes she's very honest. She's like, oh, I kind of cheated. Like someone gave me a hint. Or, for example, she knows what my starting word is. And then she knows what letters I got because she could see it from what I posted and uses that info. And I think it's fair. Like you use whatever information you got available to you.
Yeah, I use the same word. And then based on whatever highlights, then I have other words that stem from those. Like I did today's in 3. I was like, if I can do it in 3, I'm like, great.
Oh, see, I went through 3 different words that only the last letter changed. And I was like, I like...
That's frustrating.
Yeah, like, so there's a math one that I got sent, Nerdle.
I tried that too. I'm good.
And I don't know how, once you get to like the second factor in the equation, like you just have to run through every option and you will run out of like chances before.
There's Absurdle is fun because you can just keep playing Absurdle over and over again and just gives you more words. I like that one. And there's one called like Dordle, which is like 2 words at the same time. Like, nah, I'm good. I can't.
And then there's what's the curse word one that Gary would
Swirtle or
something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all dumb pieces of it. Let's go through feedback real quick. So what Robbie 1051 asks, just finished episode 444. My question is, this is not seen before the boom in board games creation, or has it always been like this, just under the radar? I assume this is for Aaron.
I guess Robbie, if you're asking like, are there like that many more board games? Probably. I mean, in the same way that like the tools have been democratized for indie game development, people making all types of games, it's the same kind of for board games too. Like if there's thousands of board games come out every year, you know, I mean, no one's played them all, but yeah. But also, I feel like board games are probably at the peak of their popularity. to some degree. I mean, there's more people are liking similar things, stuff like that. But yeah, it just might be. It probably is just. It might not just have occurred to you. So yeah, James said 2,000 to 3,000. I thought it was like more 5,000 or 6,000 a year, but who knows? A lot of games come out like published by big publishers, small publishers, print and plays. I mean, it's just there's content everywhere. There's a lot of games. Some good, some bad, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. So
I said this a few years ago, and it still holds true. There's never been a better time to be a game player. I don't call myself a gamer. I don't call myself a gamer. I don't like the stigma behind that. So there's never been a better time, because no matter what you're into, there's something out there for you, and there's something good out there for you too. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the best time. Well, Steph, I'm not sure if I answered your question, Robbie, but yeah, I guess it hasn't always been. I also feel like this is not just board game. I feel like in general, a lot of people spending so much time home. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of things that we dealt with being home, but a lot of people did a lot of creative things they wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah, man. I learned how to make candles.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I learned how to make candles. I was doing art for a little bit. I was, Like, I did all kinds of stuff. Like, so, and then I started learning how to make levain cookies, which are these massive, giant cookies based off of a bakery based out of New York City. And I was, I learned how to do all kinds of stuff. Like for Thanksgiving, I made some German chocolate cookie bars from scratch.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got too much time on my hands, so I just started making stuff. I learned how to make some yams, and I found this recipe with some yams, and the secret ingredient is butterscotch, bruh.
Oh yeah, I like yams, butterscotch.
I really thought your answer was going to be the secret ingredient is love. I really thought that was.
No. I'm a Harry Potter fan, but come on, dog. But butterscotch. When you make some yams, go into the grocery store and get you some of the butterscotch ice cream topping, and mix that.
Never would have thought of that,
bruh. I'm trying to told you this. I'm trying to told you best yams I've ever had in my yams.
I'm just straight up, a little bit of nutmeg and obviously some, tons of brown sugar. No, I don't like marshmallows. I'll mess with the marshmallows.
No, I don't do the marshmallows.
The key ingredient is lots of sugar.
Well, yeah, brown sugar, yeah.
Nah,
however you're going to get it in there. So the butterscotch, the marshmallows, the brown sugar.
Yeah,
it's the sugar. That's sugar. What makes yams good.
Yeah, true. That is kind of the universal thing. Yeah, we probably need to get out of here, but I put stuff on here. Sony bought Bungie. There's a Halo TV show coming out.
That Sony buying Bungie is a stupid idea.
I think they have a plan to have a lot of games as a service.
But they said they're going to try to work on 10. How many games as a service games that are actually successful at one time? I can probably name about 4 right now that are actually decently successful. How do you plan on having 10 in the market?
As long as they cover different genres and it's not all shooters.
And why would you buy a company that have weaseled their way out of the last 2 companies they were associated with?
That's a good point.
That's the one. Yeah, I think that's the bigger point. So Bungie has now left Microsoft. They only had a publishing deal with Activision. They didn't technically.
But they wanted to be free.
But they still got out of that deal. They still weaseled their way out of the deal.
I wonder if they got out of the Activision deal because of parts that there were discussions again earlier about maybe Microsoft coming in to buy before the stock price got low. I wonder about that because these deals take it's still going to take 2 years till that deal's finalized.
Yeah. And it's like these it's like Sony bought Bungie. These things are not equal. You do realize
not only that they said they're going to keep it multi-platform, and apparently the majority of the money is going to talent retention. To keep developers at Bungie.
Microsoft said the same thing, but you know what's going to happen? It's just going to be Warzone. Warzone is going to be multi-platform. Call of Duty is
Bungie,
not.
Bungie isn't a multi-game studio though.
That's another thing where I was like, they only got one thing. They only do one thing.
They've only ever had one thing. Like they worked on Oni, or they worked on Marathon, or they worked on Halo, or they worked on Rune. Like they've never really done multiple games at once, especially not in a live service format. So like, it'll be interesting. I mean, the other thing is Sony wants to leverage their IP. So like they think they can make Destiny into like more comics, or maybe a TV show and a movie like Uncharted is doing, or the Last of Us HBO
Are you going to watch
show.
Are you going to watch the Destiny movie and you have to go to the website to get the lore?
Nothing happens in the movie.
I would love just a QR code that you have to scan so you can go to the grimoire to like during the movie.
Yeah. The time traveler, like, stop it.
This is stupid.
And Uncharted doesn't look good.
I don't see. I don't
really.
Of
I
course.
haven't seen anything from Uncharted.
The trailer.
The moment.
I don't know.
The moment the actor was announced and it wasn't Nathan Fillion, I completely turned off.
He's too young. And Mark Wahlberg is too young. They're all too young.
Everyone got de-aged. But like, I don't think Nathan Fillion was going to do Uncharted. Like
Nathan Fillion has already done a small
they did
Uncharted
the fan
type film.
He's
already done it. Like, this is what we need.
They did that fan film 10 years ago, bro. Like, let the man rest.
No.
Let it be. Like, to be honest, like, he can be a little bit old. Like, as long as Sully is older, we're fine. And the fact that Sully doesn't have gray hair is like, what is happening here?
It lost me.
What is happening here? That's not
just
Sully.
Kind of like, I understand that the story kind of more revolves around Uncharted 3, where like you have younger Sully and you have younger Nate also in there. So like, I mean,
I still say, if Mark Wahlberg was Nathan Drake, I probably would have been like, I'll give it a try.
I don't know. I like Tom Holland.
I don't even like Mark Wahlberg. My ex-wife loves Mark Wahlberg, and I hate his freaking guts. But I would have been like,
Gotcha. So, since we're talking about that, let's talk about
my
Halo
ex-wife made me watch Rockstar multiple times.
That was not a good movie.
That Halo, like, so they've come out and said that this Halo TV show is not lining up with the continuity of the game. Like, there's something called the Silver Timeline, which will have some of the continuity of the games and the stories from the books or whatnot, but not all. Because like he's meeting Cortana for the first time in this.
But we've already done this, because they said that the Fall of Reach book, which everyone like is like the Bible for Halo fans, had nothing to do with Halo Reach. They've already separated themselves from another property. So now they're separating themselves from the game too. Like,
I mean, they are building divergent paths.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. But I will say, Hood All Star, Bokeem Woodbine is in.
Yes, when I saw Bokeem, I was in.
I was like, yeah. But then Porn Stash is Master Chief. It's like, really? Porn Stash, the character from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Orange is the New Black, yeah. Oh. But like,
he also played in American Gods.
Do you think we're actually going to see Master Chief's face?
I don't know. They shouldn't. But like, if you were never going to see his face, why get a recognizable actor?
I mean, isn't that the same idea for The Mandalorian? And the first season of Mando, we didn't see his face at all.
But is that guy really that recognizable?
Pedro,
Pedro Pascal.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I watched this and then I saw him. I saw him as an uncredited actor in Buffy, because I happened to start rewatching Buffy during the first season.
Buffy, the greatest TV show of all time.
He is an uncredited vampire in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like season 1.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the greatest TV show of all time, but you have to get through season 1.
So, but
it's very 90s.
I mean, there's Halo. Like, I'm interested in. I thought the graphics looked interesting.
It looked like they put more money into it than I was expecting.
I don't want to subscribe to a thing to watch this. If it was on a thing I'm paying for.
Oh yeah,
start watching Star Trek, and then you can just watch this because you're already paying.
Nah, dog, I'm a fire stick the mess out of this joint. You know what I mean? Like, this is a fire stick special. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Is it on
spending no
Cody?
money.
Then I ain't watching it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm like, I have too many streaming services right now that I pay for, and I'm just not gonna do this because I got Netflix, I got the Hulu bundle, so I got Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus that I never use. You know what I mean? Like, I got Amazon,
Gotcha.
I got like I got too much stuff, and like
Paramount Plus is my Star Trek subscription. I realize this. Like, that's why I pay for it, so I can watch Star Trek when it comes on.
My mom pays for it, and I just reap the benefits.
Yeah, when it come out and I send you a DM and I say run that password, G, I need you to understand what's happening here.
You go G or D, whichever one. Oh man.
So I mean that's what's going on there. I think that's it.
All right, we should probably wrap up and get out of here. Scar.
Yes.
Shout outs, plugs, all that good stuff.
Man, shout out to y'all for having me back. Like, I appreciate y'all, and I love having coming on here and talking to different people. I don't get to guest very often these days. People just stop calling. I don't know what that.
You're just on too many shows, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you did say you're on like 4.
I mean, at one point I was doing 4, and it was just really weird. And you know, when I first moved in by myself, it seemed like a good idea to like, we're going to take up our time with doing all of this stuff. But now I'm like associated with way too much stuff. Like, I missed one of the shows that that I'm a moderator for. It's a marching band podcast that's on YouTube. I skipped that for this. I just want y'all to know that. I skipped that for this.
We appreciate
that.
And and then my podcast Scarcasm, and we're still going strong. Me and the homeboy Chase, we get out there every 2 weeks, and we just basically talk about the things that we're consuming. It's basically a what you've been playing type show, and we talk a little bit about what's happened in our lives since the last time. And like sometimes it's just funny stuff. Sometimes it's just mundane because like my life is pretty mundane at this point. And other times we get into some real stuff. Like I did have an episode where I kind of spoke out loud that I was having some depression issues, and I was trying to harm myself that day. You know, like it sometimes it gets really real. But like, you know, I didn't know why I was doing it. I was just having an episode, and you know, I'm a diabetic, so I was just eating a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I started off the show eating gummy worms. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what was happening. Things were not going well in my life that day. But it's real, and it's like real from the two of us. We get real about our lives, and we talk about the things that we're consuming and our filter of the things that we're consuming. I also do the show is called Return to Oswald because we only expected to do Oz, and then we started moving into other TV shows. So we just finished. We did the HBO show Oz, reviewing each episode. We just finished Playmakers, and we are going towards Orphan Black next. So you can find that podcast. It's still called Return to Oswald because like it was too late to change the name. So. And on Twitter, he just changed it from Return to Oswald to RTO Podcast. So look that up. I like I was talking about like learning how to make candles and stuff like that. I do have a website where you can buy such things, candles and wax melts and things of that nature. The company's called Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts. And it's kind of weird. PTCAC Handcrafted is the website. And you can, you know, buy some stuff. And if you want to buy some stuff, holler at your boy first. Hit your boy up on Twitter or something like that. And I'll throw you a discount code out there. So that you can get some off that and get you some smell good. I need to start putting my art up there, but my art is, you know, because I broke up with my girlfriend and now all of my stuff is in a storage unit. So like I gotta get it out, take pictures, all that kind of stuff, to put the art up on the website. But if you want to see the art, you can go to Scarfinger on Instagram. I took pictures and stuff like that, just regular pictures, not like pictures worthy of putting on a website. But that and then I also wanted to shout out my man Rob. Of course you guys know Rob. And my daughter and my ex-wife got into a fender bender, and and Rob was called in and he kind of handled the business that day. And, my daughter was kind of texting and on the phone with me that whole time. And she was kind of low key, like saying like, yo, he came through and he handled the business for us. And, she'll never say that to him, of course. But like, I wanted to say it on her behalf. Like that man stepped in and he took care of his family. And, like I said earlier, I really appreciate that dude. It's been a real up and down journey for us as men, but like I really appreciate that dude and holding down his family when they needed him was fantastic because like that's our child. You know what I mean? Like, and that's his wife. That was my ex-wife, but we all still family. But like, I appreciate that dude for handling the business. And it's not something that I would just pick up the phone to say to him, but like hearing that from my daughter and being able to like say that here in a place where he used to be, it means something in that manner. And I know like Mike, they homies, and they homies still to this day. And I still know a lot about Mike and his wife, and so like, but like I just wanted to say that I appreciate that dude for everything. Like even the bad times, it turned into something good for all of us. So I really appreciate that dude. That's me.
All right, Mike, you got to follow that up, man.
Yeah, I mean, just to as an aside, I'm sure that's not the easiest thing in the world for you to say, and it means a lot to hear it. And
it's super
I
easy.
appreciate
Barely an inconvenience.
I appreciate you saying it, and I appreciate hearing it. So,
word up. I know that's your guy.
Indeed. So, but as I always do, I do encourage those who are eligible to donate blood, and for anybody who has pets, to I'll say if you love your pets, have them spayed or neutered. If you are, if you think of your pets as acceptable, have them spayed or neutered. If you do not like your pets, let someone else have them. So that's a different twist on that, but that's really what it's all about. Anyway, that's my piece.
All right, Scar, thank you once again for joining us. So you said you had something else that was planned, and you decided to hang out with us. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, it was a marching band podcast. Most people don't care about marching bands. Like, well, let's be honest. Like, it's usually like 20 people in the chat. Like, we're not really like, you know what I mean? It's not like I walked away from something that's like this mind-blowing super thing. I'm just a moderator in the chat. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? It's not like it's that great.
No, but we appreciate it. It's been really good catching up.
We appreciate you making the time no matter what.
Man, I enjoy coming on here and talking to y'all and stomping all over your topics. Like that's a pleasure for me. And Rashani told me to tell you. And Rashani told me to tell y'all that he is upset he didn't get a call.
Okay, well he knows he will. It's not, it's all good. He'll be back. You'll be back. Everybody, it's all good.
He wanted me to slide him the link on the low so he could show up like a wrestler. Like, John Cena's here.
Look at the Titantron. What? He's back.
Right? They have to play that song during Peacemaker at some point, right?
It would make sense to, but I don't, the rights and all.
He already body slammed that chick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, he did. Yeah, that first.
How many times do y'all watch the intros of that show? I watched it the first time and I just skip it.
Most people say that they love it. I have watched it maybe about twice, and that was only because I had moved to another part of the couch and my remote was over there.
It's not bad. It's just I laughed at it like, oh, this is cool, and then I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like a lot of it is like that's funny, but I'm not like really laughing. I'm just like that's funny
that they did that.
Yeah. A lot of the time I'm not laughing, but I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah. They really had them
Stone-faced.
dance. So.
Right.
But shout out to everybody who was in the chat. We appreciate you, coming on, asking questions, interacting. Makes it for a better show. And if you want to leave us feedback, you can always email us, podcast@GameEnthus.com.
Send all the hate mail about me to podcast@GameEnthus.com.
The voicemail is 202-573-7686. I got to catch up with Keon again. I haven't talked to Keon in a minute, so I'll catch up with him.
You know, I've never gotten a hate mail.
I got like a snarky email, but not really ever any hate mail.
Yeah, I know. No one cares about me enough to hate me, and that bothers me so much.
I'm completely okay with that.
Oh, if you want to feel the hate, just go play Halo and turn the mics on.
No, because I need somebody to know that it's me. To like that, I don't want you to hate like my avatar. I don't want somebody to hate my avatar. Nobody cares about me enough to hate me, and that bothers me so much.
Doesn't bother. Like, I'm good. I don't. I mean, like,
we got that one mean review one time, like 10 years ago.
Yes.
there are better shows you could be listening to.
That's basically
Just
what
like,
he
yes,
said.
you're right. There are better shows.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
we used to get mail sometimes, like back when me and my ex-wife did the show together, and people would just like talk about her like she was there by herself, but like no one would ever like outwardly like diss me, and that bothered me so much because it's like it is kind of a diss for you to like not include me in anything that you're saying. But then it was just like, so I just started saying stuff to just try to make the scene like if I can make those people really come out and really say something, and it never happened. And I think that sucks. I've been podcasting since 2009, and I ain't never got no hate mail. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, man.
I mean,
who knows what the future holds?
I could send you a mean letter, but pretend I'm somebody else if it make you feel better.
You're gonna get a certified letter from Mike.
I mean, I'm not gonna send it and say it was from me.
But I'm like,
that's terrible.
But I'm like your wife. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to do it now. Because I know that you like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like you never say I love you. Well, I love you. Well, it doesn't count now.
Because I just told you that.
Because I just told you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's that thing.
Should I get you flowers tomorrow? No.
Exactly.
No flowers then.
I never get any flowers. Well, I'll get you some flowers. I don't want you to get me no flowers right now because it doesn't count now. You're only doing this to shut me up. Like,
it's like, what's that movie? White Man Can't Jump. It's like, I don't want you to get me water. I want you to empathize with me. Like,
you know what I'm
do you
saying?
want water or not?
Do you understand dry mouthedness? He actually sang dry mouthedness. He sang it. He sang it. And then messed up his life anyway.
Yeah, he did. He had a gambling
made a
problem.
fool.
Tiny.
Hey, it's February now. Man, it's already February. You should, if you want to support sick kids at your local Children's Miracle Network hospital, you can sign up at extra-life.org. Pick the hospital you want to raise from, 170 to choose from. 100% of what you raise goes directly to the hospital. And you can also go to extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus2020 and donate to your favorite Game Enthus personality, because I think I'm the only one on the team.
I'll be joining. You. I'll update the link on the site as well. So,
well, once they release the Game Enthus, we'll put it back to just regular Game Enthus, or 2022 actually, I guess would be the link right now. But anyway, yeah, so you can go to Extra Life, sign up there, raise money for your local Children's Miracle Hospital, or you can donate.
Yeah. I've donated a few times directly to the CHKD. Because they did a lot of work helping my daughter, because my daughter was born my daughter was born 2 months early, and like her first actual doctor was worked for CHKD. And they so when I donate, I just go to that part of Extra Life and donate directly, not through anybody, because most of the people that I know are in other places, so it's not going to CHKD.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, and with that. I think we're out of here.
Yeah. Peace. Don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.
I'm doing everything you wouldn't do.
I recommend it.